तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
ఈనాడు ఆధునిక యుగంగా మారటం చేత అనేక రకమైనటువంటి యొక్క చర్యలు ఆధునికంగానే చేరిపోతున్నాయి.
Because of the changes of this modern world, all newfangled thoughts,
సద్భావములకు, సచ్చర్యలకు, సచ్చింతనలకు చక్కని అవకాశమే కనిపించడం లేదు.
There is no place whatsoever for good thoughts, for good actions, for any type of good deeds.
కనుక ఈనాడు స్త్రీలకు ఈ పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క భావనలు అభివృద్ధి పరచుకొని దీనికి సత్యసాయి సంస్థలని, సత్యసాయి మహిళా విభాగములని దీనికి ఏర్పరిచి ఈ సత్సంగ ప్రభావాన్ని జగమునకు చాటే నిమిత్తమై దీనికి ఏర్పరుస్తూ వచ్చాం.
For the purpose of increasing the recognition of these values, and then it is the woman who should uphold it, and so there are various organizations of Sri Satya Sai like Mahila Vibhag and so many other type of things.
కనుకనే స్త్రీలు కూడినప్పుడే జగత్తంతా కూడాను ఒక పవిత్రమైనటువంటి దేశంగా రూపొందుతుంది.
It's only when the women get together that the whole nation becomes something exemplary.
ఈ స్త్రీల యొక్క సంఘము ఎంతనో గొప్ప విలువను సంపాదించింది.
So this society of women lends it a lot of dignity.
ఇటువంటి స్త్రీల యొక్క తత్వమును ఈనాటికి పురుషులు కూడాను గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించడం లేదు.
So men should make an effort to understand this value in women.
దేశమును కూడాను హస్తగతము గావించుకునేటువంటి శక్తి కలిగినటువంటి స్త్రీలు ఈ స్త్రీలు.
These women are those who can really do such things in the world.
స్త్రీలు కేవలం సామాన్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క బానిసలుగా భావిస్తున్నారు అనేక మంది పురుషులు.
Men think that women are just subordinate to them.
కాదు.
It's not so.
వారు తలంచినప్పుడు జగత్తునే ఒక మూట మాదిరి కట్టగలరు.
When they just think they can just bundle up the world.
అటువంటి శక్తి సామర్థ్యములు కలిగినటువంటి స్త్రీలను మనం ఈనాడు చులకన చేయటం చేతనే మన గతి ఈ విధంగా మారిపోతున్నది.
It's because we're belittling such women who can do such tremendous tasks. The world has come to this state today.
స్త్రీలు సాధించలేనిటువంటిది లేదు లోకంలో.
There is nothing that a woman cannot achieve.
అలాంటి స్త్రీల యొక్క తత్వమును మనం దినము కూడాను గుర్తించి వారికి తగినటువంటి ఉత్సాహములు కూడాను కల్పించి వారికి తగినటువంటి సమాజం లోపల తోడ్పాటు గావించాలి.
Recognizing this quality in woman, we will have to give her support and try to encourage her and see that she becomes the pillar in society.
అలాంటి ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ ఏ మాత్రము చేయటం లేదు స్త్రీలకు.
The women do not get encouragement at all.
ఏదైనా ఒక సత్సంగంలో ప్రవేశించినారా అంటే ఈ పురుషులకు దానిపైన కోపం కలుగుతుండేది.
If they go to satsang, the men become angry.
వారి స్వార్థము, వారి స్వప్రయోజనముకి మాత్రమే ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నారు. కానీ స్త్రీల వల్ల జగత్తునికి ఎంత ఉపకారం కలుగుతుంది, ఎంత పవిత్రమైనటువంటి మార్గం ఏర్పడుతుంది అనేటువంటి సత్యాన్ని వారు గుర్తించుకోలేకపోతున్నారు.
They are only thinking of their own selfishness or the self-comfort. They are not able to realize that through women alone that society can progress into something.
చాలా వరకు స్త్రీల యందు స్వార్థరహితమైనటువంటి హృదయం ఉంటుంటుంది.
Women have got a heart which is devoid of selfishness.
దయా ప్రేమల చేత వాళ్ళ హృదయం నిండి ఉంటుంది.
Their heart is full of compassion and kindness.
పిల్లలను పోషించేటువంటి విషయం లోపల ఎంతనో జాగ్రత్తగా ఉంటుంటారు.
In bringing up their children, they are so careful.
ఒక్క క్షణమైన కూడా భర్త సహించుకోలేడు.
Even one moment the husband cannot
కానీ ఆ
tolerate it.
పిల్లలను పోషించేటువంటి విధానంలో రాత్రింపగలు కూడాను స్త్రీలు ఎంతనో పాటుపడుతుంటారు.
Night and day the woman will strive to look after her child.
ఆ పిల్లల యొక్క ప్రవర్తనకు ఎన్నో విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క తోడ్పాటు కూడా చేస్తుంటారు.
And she will always support the child in many of its actions and thoughts.
గృహమునందు ఎన్ని విచారములు, ఎన్ని కష్టములు, ఎన్ని బాధలు ఉండినప్పటికీ నవ్వుకుంటూ ఆనందంగా ఈ గృహము యొక్క కీర్తిని నిలబెట్టే నిమిత్తమై తన జీవితాన్ని త్యాగం చేసేటువంటి వారు స్త్రీలు.
Women would sacrifice everything so that everybody would get away from the anxieties, worries and
ఈ స్త్రీల
problems.
యందు 7 విధములైనటువంటి శక్తులు ఉంటున్నాయి.
A woman has 7 faculties:
సత్యము,
truth,
ప్రేమ,
love,
ధర్మము,
dharma,
త్యాగము,
sacrifice,
సహనము,
tolerance,
సానుభూతి,
compassion
ఆనందము.
and bliss.
ఈ 7 శక్తులు కూడా కూడినటువంటిదే ఈ స్త్రీ.
A woman is the combination of all these 7 faculties.
ఈ స్త్రీ వల్లనే గృహము కాని, వ్యక్తులు కాని, సంతానం కాని దేశవ్యాప్తి కావడానికి, సత్కీర్తిని తేవడానికి, ఆనందాన్ని అందించడానికి, శాంతి భద్రతను చేకూర్చడానికి ఈ స్త్రీలే మూల కారణం.
A woman is main cause for the peace, prosperity, advancement, progress, welfare, reputation and respect, either at home or at the individual level, through her progeny all over the country.
With utmost humility, gratitude, and love, I offer myself at the divine reverential lotus feet of our beloved omnipresent Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, speakers, Sister Kuppam Vijayamma, Sister Linda Ragsdale, dear sisters, and our very dear Sai spiritual education girls, loving Sai Ram to each and every one of you. I'm extremely grateful to Bhagavan for bringing all of us together on this very auspicious Saturday for the National Sai Women's Retreat. The theme of this retreat is Women are the Beacons of Light. It's a privilege, it's an honor, and it's a joy to welcome each and every one of you to this retreat. Swami said, in this infinite universe, amongst the myriads of living beings, it's eminent to be a human being, and it's a privilege to be a woman, in the 1995 Ladies' Day discourse. In another discourse, he added, women have more spiritual content, and therefore it's very easy for them to get on the spiritual path. Let me share a story. So in December last year, the women's wing came together for a meeting, which was the last meeting of the year. And then we were all discussing and contemplating, what should we do next year? What should be the initiative we should start with? Very quickly, all of us zoomed into Tapovanam for self-transformation. And we gravitated towards it. And then we said, okay, let's go ahead with this. And then we started to spread the word. And in 2 weeks' time, by the end of December, we had 30 groups with 18 ladies each, 540 women committed to this sadhana, which was to start on January 5th and go up to May 10th. So that was the commitment from the women. And this is such a beautiful sadhana and spiritual practice. And I've been getting so many mails where the women's group want to continue. And then women's groups want to continue, and they are like, we want to go through the sadhana for the rest of the year. And there are some women that are so committed that they want to finish all the 18 chapters, 18 ladies on the same Thursday. And there are certain groups of women that are maintaining spiritual journals, writing their experiences. And this reminds me of another quote from Swami in a 1961 discourse, which says, when you listen to my story, you forget the story of the world and live in only my story, until there is no separate story for you to relate or live. To make you storyless is the scheme of my story. And Tapovanam is such a wonderful book. It's an anthology. So you can pick up any chapter and read. And when we live in his story, we are literally living in him. and we become the beacons of light and we shine a light. Few more other updates from the women's wing. We also have the peer enrichment groups, and then these groups are working very well, and we have all the facilitators that are doing such a fantastic job. And in a program segment, glimpses of the peer enrichment group, we will present a few of those very enriching and then uplifting work that's happening in these peer groups. And the other initiative we wanted was having regional retreats. So Region 4 had their retreat in October. Region 5 had their retreat in January. Region 3 and Region 7 planning their retreats in May. And we have Region 2 planning for the retreat in August. We also have now our presence on the SSSIO USA website, and we have a web page for the Women's Wing. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank the website team, Sister Satya Chandrasekhar, Sister Saroja Paturi, Sister Prema Rao, and of course, our very dear brother Shiva. And the Women's Wing has really planned for this wonderful program. And now let me begin by introducing Kuppam Vijayamma. Vijaya Kumari, popularly known as Kuppam Vijayamma, is an ardent and a long-standing devotee of Bhagavan and the author of the famous book, Anyadha Sharanam Nasti, which literally means, other than you, there is no refuge. Her other books are Badri Yatra, Supreme Devotion, and Maya and the Master. And her brother, V.R. Krishna Kumar, also has written a book, Balasai Leelamritam, translates to Divine Games of Young Sai. On Vijaya's very first family trip to Puttaparthi in 1945, Swami addressed them as the Kuppam family, and they affectionately addressed young Baba as Swami. Swami lovingly called her Kumaramma. Her family spent extended periods of time in Puttaparthi during the Pata Mandir or the old Mandir days. Once at a gathering, Bhagwan declared, "I love the Kuppam family." When asked why, he said, "They keep singing to me and about me all the time, wherever they are." This soulful music is what rendered Vijayamma, her parents, brothers, and sisters to be so dear to Bhagavan. Sister Vijayamma is 93 years of age, and the timing of this program and certain circumstances, she could not join us in real time. And this team has been talking to her for quite some time now, and we have put together a video based on just these previous meetings with her in the recent past. So I request all of you to pay attention to the video that has a bhajan, Bhajanaku Rarandi. And the video also has an altar of the Kuppam family that has Swami's padukas, musical instruments that Swami was using during the old Mandir days. We definitely have her blessings today, and let us listen to what she has to say now.
My heartfelt pranams at the lotus feet of my most beloved Lord, and best wishes to every one of you. Today, we are really happy to assemble here and talk about Swami's Leelas, manifestations, and so many things which we can enjoy. When we were living in Old Mandir in 1945, and for so many years we sang bhajans for hours together. We used to sing in the mandir, and then we used to go Chitravati in the evening. There also we used to sing for hours together bhajan. Then one day we asked Swami why we are singing bhajans for such a long time. What is the purpose behind it? And then Swami said, bhajan is the easiest way to reach the lotus feet of God. How is it possible? Yes. When you sing a bhajan, how do you sing? You sing with bhava, raga and tala. When bhava, raga, tala, they are all equal, then the listeners, without their knowledge, get absorbed, gets attracted, gets surrendered. They enjoy the bhajan. Even a layman who doesn't know about music also enjoys bhajan. So, Swami says, bhajan is the easiest way where you can draw people, where you can make people get interested and reach the God very easily. Not only that, and Swami said, when we sing a bhajan, the bhajan should be like a bhojan. Then we had a good laugh. Sorry, what do you bhojan? Yeah. When you have your lunch, what do you have? Are you eating only rice? No, you are eating rice, sambar, chutney, curd, rasam, and so many things you enjoy. Like that, when you sing a bhajan, if you sing only on Rama or Krishna or Durga, people get fed up. Because in that congregation, many types of people are there. So if you sing on Allah, Sai, Jesus, every God, then everybody enjoys. The purpose of the bhajan is to make everybody happy, to make everybody merge in music so they can forget themselves and think of God without their knowledge. So you see how Swami beautifully explains. He said there is no need of japa or tapa. What do you do in japa, tapa? There also you are mentioning, you are chanting the name of God. But how long your mind is going to stay in that japa and tapa? Instead of that, wasting so much time, you do your work. You cook, you go out, you drive a car, whatever you do, go on chanting the name of God. By doing that, your mind automatically, after some time, get merged in that name, and without your knowledge, you are going on saying the jap, which is the main purpose of merging into God. And Swami also said, if you sing properly, you are a singer. Otherwise, he said, you are a sinner. My God, we all got so disturbed that we folded our hands and told Swami, please make us sing properly. Make everybody happy. Make you yourself also happy, because our aim is to give joy to each and everyone. So Swami so beautifully explained so many things about bhajan, because bhajan is the only way, easiest way to reach God, to merge into God. Today, now, we are going to introduce a bhajan to you, where Swami himself calling, inviting everyone to come bhajan. He says, bhajan kurati, come on, come for bhajan, attend bhajan, listen to bhajan, enjoy the bhajan. Why? Because bhajan only gives you such a joy which even a poetry, even a music cannot give you so much. The bhajan attracts everybody and makes all the environments peaceful and bring harmony. So let us listen to the bhajan where Swami himself gave so much importance.
అనేక సందర్భాలలో అనేక రకములైనటువంటి పాటలను పాడేవారు. ఒక్కో సమయమందు అనేక మంది భక్తులు చేరినప్పుడు ఈ పాట ద్వారా వారిలో ఉత్సాహాన్ని కలిగించేవారు.
am a woman. Women empowerment. Manuaditana.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful bhajan. And I'm sure all of you will agree with me. So bhajans are the most attraction for most of us. We all get attracted towards bhajans, and most of us have been drawn to Swami because of bhajans. And the Kuppam family really took advantage of that. And the beauty of the song was like, please do come and join those bhajans where the Lord of the universe himself is a part of the bhajan session that you will be joining. So I think that was the beauty, and really like the play of words with Sister Vijayamma used japa, tapa, bhajan, bhojan, singer and sinner. We cannot thank her enough for her presence and her blessings through this video. All right, now it is time for me to introduce our second speaker, who is Linda Ragsdale. She was here last year as a panelist, and the best way to describe Linda is light is always born from darkness. She is the creator of the 3-piece code curriculum, Spark app, a TEDx speaker, 2017 El Hibri Peace Education Prize nominee, and 2018 Window on the World Mandela Prize winner. Linda Ragsdale is an award-winning author, illustrator, international speaker, and a teacher. As a survivor of the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack, where her physically devastating wound of a machine gun bullet searing a 2.5-foot path down her back validates her message of peace, love, and compassion over retaliation and resentment. Whether the terrorist comes from outside or within, Linda Ragsdale believes peace and love offer a balanced journey through every challenging event. Linda returned to India in 2010 to spread her message of love and peace. In 2011, the Herbert H. Humphrey Fellows joined hands with the Peace Dragon and came up with the International Peace Curriculum. Join me in welcoming Linda, and over to you, Linda.
Well, thank you all for being here. I am more than honored to be with you all, and more than honored to put the focus on this beautiful light that we as women hold. Lakshmi and I were talking about this, that we as women are the physicality of the creation of this light within our wombs, that we bring life here to earth. And in this, that we are universally connected as that light, that we are the starlight in this universe. So today, I often think if you are a satellite out there, that they are seeing this constellation of the beauty of women lighting up this earth with our heart lights on and open to listening and remembering this light source. And I'd like you all to just take this moment and to put your hands on your heart. And I'd like you to feel that light coming through you. I'd like you to take a breath. Feel the light coming within you. Feel that light filling your chest, feeling it. Feel your essence. Let it run through your fingertips, your toes. Let it be filled with you. And let us sit in these moments and talk about this beautiful light. And I'm going to talk about it in phases and the beauty of it, but also knowing that as this community of light bearers, as this beacon of light, that there are times when we must nurture that light. And that the beauty of this is when we need to cocoon off and rebuild the light within us, that all of our sisters are here around us to hold that light for us and help us regain that light within ourselves, that we nurture it and we see it, and that we are surrounded by it when we choose to engage in it. I was talking with a friend the other day and talking about this great opportunity, and she immediately reminded me of a poem by a poet that we both love, which is Mary Oliver, and it is the Buddha's last instruction. And it starts off by saying, "Make of yourself a light," said the Buddha before he died. So make of yourself a light. And this is what we have to remember, is to embrace this light, and that there are cues all around us to remember to engage in this light. There are things that are surrounding us that if we hold our attention and our mindfulness to this, we are constantly reminded of the light that is around us, that is within us. I will equate this to being given this strength when I went into the Oberoi Hotel in 2008 and was mesmerized by this hotel, but specifically by this one beautiful feature within the hotel. It was this black marble wall and black marble pool that came out, and it was this infinite darkness that was lit up by the beauty of lotus flowers and little tea lights floating in the pool. And every day I would take my camera down and try to capture the essence of the beauty of this. This was so bold, this beauty of this light, that this darkness had no chance against these simple yet smaller pieces of bright whiteness floating out and filling our eyes with attention to that, to the beauty of the light. And so I captured this, and I wanted to share. I hope, let's see, can I, without capturing too much of the essence around there, but there is the beauty of that light. And not only that, in the captured photograph, when we turn it this way, that the wholeness of this spirit, the illusion, the real, the shadow, is this beauty that we have within ourselves. This was the focus that I went into to face that night, where we were sitting in the restaurant, surrounded by friends, engaged in the beauty of the meditation retreat we were on. We had been through amazing meditations that day. We had been at a place where we had seen beautiful, beautiful blooms that are rarely seen in other places, that look like the, and I'm forgetting the name of the bloom. I can't believe this, but the beauty of seeing this and the joy of being together and listening in this restaurant to life, laughter, everyone dining with this joy of life, that we were here to celebrate that. And if you hear the symphony, we hear the sounds in the beautiful satsangs and the beautiful darshans that we sing and the mantras that we say. But in this too, the life song that plays within a restaurant, and when you go into a public place, listen to it. It is the beauty of the plates clanging and the dishes and the people laughing, and that, you know, that one laugh that that catches everyone's eyes. It reminds us that someone is having a good time, and that we share and we sit with each other. And in this table there, we sat all together. My friend Alan, who was at the head, his 13-year-old daughter was to my other side. I was on one end. So it was like a mother and father and a daughter there, and family all around us. Two friends from Canada and another woman from Tennessee. And here we sat at this table, not a family of blood, but a family of the universe. A family of the universe. And in that moment, we turned our heads to two flashes of light, and that piece was broken with so much gunfire coming over through the restaurant. There was so much bullets flying overhead that the air was heated to the point where we couldn't even see each other. It was so frantic. Naomi went to her father. Dad, we tried to get her under the table, put her into peace, into safety. Get under the table, everyone quiet. I looked up at my friend Michael. His white shirt turned red immediately when the bullet took him. In the next moments, I found myself looking at his body laying in front of me, the table underneath crowded, Naomi and her father head to head, hand to hand, holding on, and the gunfire had stopped. And in this moment, we tried to believe that this was what we had to face, that this was the challenge of this moment. But when the gunfire started up again, they were coming table by table and shooting any survivors. As I sat on the floor, I couldn't imagine what would be coming. I couldn't imagine it was a human being. I couldn't imagine someone's head being so separated from their heart, being so violently separated from their heart that they could not see that this was another human being in front of them, another human being that had light and hope and dreams. And while I waited in those moments for the gunman to get to the table, I convinced myself that it could not be human, that it would be a monster, and that I would not see. At this time, I was a teacher of children, and I would go in and teach them how to own the beauty of a blank sheet of paper and to enjoy the exploration of it, to own that same adventure in their lives that I was asking them to indulge with me on a blank piece of paper. That white, bright piece of paper, that possibilities. And in the column in the Oberoi Hotel in the restaurant, it was so highly polished marble that it looked like a mirror. So I knew that I would see the gunmen when they came. And like I said, I didn't think it would be human. I thought it would be a monster. Alan told us to play dead, and I couldn't put my head down because I had to see this. I had to understand this. And as the barrel of the gun cut across that mirrored marble, I was heartbroken. My heart waned because what was holding that gun was a child. And the child face was the same as my son at home. He must be 19, 20, the squareness of them. As mothers, we watch our children grow. We see the beauty of those round little baby faces as they turn into the toddler faces as they go through. And we feel the joy of them growing. And we look and their teeth come in and they're wonky. And we think, oh, they will never straighten out. And we watch this and we watch them grow. And this face was the possibility of manhood coming out. And how did he get a gun? How did he think that this was the way to come and speak to me? How did we get here? Two people who had never said a word, one holding a gun and the other one on the other end of it. And I caught in my head that he was darting his eyes around as if he was looking for the retaliation, right? That this was somehow a war, but we were not at war. We were at dinner, and here this young man was looking for. And as I put my head down, I realized I had called him my monster, and I was his. And how could that be? But that lotus, right? That in this darkness, there is light. And when I put my head down, that's when I felt the shot. And when I lifted my head, the first sound that I heard was Naomi, my 13-year-old dinner companion, my dear friend who was there like my surrogate daughter, who was also 13 at the time. We had been in the pool and swimming, and we had made plans for that Friday. We had put off plans because we believed that Friday would come. And here, this small and angel of a child had left this earth, and with her breath, with everyone who leaves, they take a part of us. But the part that stays is ignited with the possibilities to keep them alive by taking the best of them and imbuing it in our spirit and sharing it with everyone around. That we keep their light glowing within ourselves, and we in turn become more powerful of light by passing on what we know and love. Two young men called us in, and we made it into the restaurant after the gunman had left. And as we sat in there for those moments, we were resting, and I saw the beauty of this red fluid pouring out onto the floor and filling the cracks of the flooring, and it illuminated the footprints of the shoes of the day workers who had been working in the restaurant, not thinking that I was bleeding out, not knowing this, but being saved by this opportunity to not think of the terror that I was living in, to give me a light and a bubble and a realm to live in until I could handle these moments. And just as I realized that I needed to be far more paying attention to what was going on, I was blown into the middle of the room because the gunmen were now bombing the foyer, and the percussive damage of a bomb does not stop within the first wall that it hits, but it goes through until it is weakened. And we made our way out. So this light through the darkness, I was given this other opportunity. I was given also a sign, because when we had started to get down there, we were working our way, and this lovely, lovely maitre d' who was saving our lives and guiding our little ragtag group of survivors out. The only exit had an alarmed door. And that meant lights would go off and sounds would go off and we would be identified. And I only in that moment felt fear and told him, please don't. But he said I had to. And he kicked open the door. So here was this alarm and these alarm lights going off to me. And it was important that I paid attention, because in my head, what I was thinking is, surely there are gunmen out there. Surely they will find us now. And my wound had gone all the way through my body and I was slow, but I counted that this would be okay. And I walked. So when you walk through today, when you walk through a doorway, I want you to look. This is all it took for me. One step through one doorway, this small, to go from an apocalyptic nightmare into the most beautiful starry sky. I fixated on the one star in the darkness, that one light in the darkness. So this is part of that light of who we are, the light in the darkness. It allows us to hold hope into what is going on in our lives. It allows us to hold hope into what is around us. It allows us to be that star when we find our friends and our family and the world in that darkness, that we become that light to shine among others, that we become and embrace that light, because it will not be swallowed by the darkness, ever, ever. And in our faith, we know that even though the clouds may cover that night, it will never extinguish the stars behind it. Never. So when we hold on to that light, we remember that light is part of what we hold in the darkness, not only for ourselves, that we look for it. Like I said, when we are nurturing ourselves, that there is someone there to be that light for us, and that we reciprocate by being that light for others. And in that step, there was also that choice of what to bring out of that room. I could bring the darkness, or I could be the starlight. I could be the light. And what I had seen, right, was this young boy who was taught hate better than he was taught love. And surely my mission should be that we are not only light, but we are heart light, that we become better teachers of love than those who are teaching hate. That at some point, if we had reached that child, right, and not let him put guns and ammunition in that backpack that he was carrying, but we gave him books and love and toys and warmth, that he would be filled with love, and the light that we put on him would never let that darkness harm him. That if that darkness encroached upon their area, that they would know to come to us and say, please give me, be my light. Make of yourself a light. And it is this absolute joy in knowing that we are that light and we are not extinguishable. And even though sometimes the challenges may come upon us that make us feel that we can be extinguished, we cannot. Even in our passing, Because like I said, when we touch people's lives, they carry on our spirit, our essence. My children will carry on the joy and love that I have that always says, look for the light. And when you can't see the light, be the light. And that's what they will carry on. And we look at that possibility of what it is. Years after the shooting, I had a word that came into my life that also took out the lights, and it took the lights out on my family, because it was not just an experience that I was having alone, but I was given the word cancer in my life. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And this is a word, right? It's a word. It's a word. But when we shine our light upon that word and we look at it, we diffuse the fear of it, because it is simply a statement of where we are in our physical lives. It is simply a statement of a being, of a place of being. And that allows us to search for the answers that we need. It allows us to look inside of us and link with the light that we know that will be healing and nurturing to us. It allows us to connect with the other team of lights, the doctors, our friends, who will help us on this journey to get through this thing. So we know that there are actions, opportunities, words that can play with our light, but we should never, never let it be diminished. I'm going to interject with a small story that I remember. I love learning about different religions, and I went to learn about the Chabad religion, because in India, one of the horrific last standings was of a Chabad house in Mumbai, and the young little boy was saved by the nanny, and his parents were killed in the Chabad house. And he actually was the first child who was given a Peace Dragon T-shirt, which is the nonprofit I started after the Mumbai, hopefully to bring more light and love into this world. But he did this wonderful thing. He did this candle, and he lit this candle. And then he put a vellum sleeve over the candle, so the light was a little dim. And then he put another sleeve over it, and the light was a little dim. And he put another sleeve over it, and the light almost became extinguishable, except to the light itself. Except to the light itself. The light was just as bright. The light was just as powerful. But if those layers, if we allow people to put layers upon our light, we must learn to strip those away so that we can be that light, not only for ourselves, not only in the silence of ourselves knowing this, but to be able to put that light out into the world. And remember that always someone will need that light. Always someone will. And when we can't be that light, like I said, we have to nurture ourselves to do this. I'm going to take another moment too, because we are talking about women in this and the things that we hold. So if we are holding the actual vellum sleeves that are tainting light, we have to learn how to let go of those things. We have to learn how to cleanse ourselves of that and hold our light as bright as we can, as long as we can. So this is a lovely book, and it's called Women Holding Things. And it talks about, and I wanted to share this, and I wanted to just say too, that my bookmark says, shine your brilliant light. So it's a lovely deck of cards, and I love this, right? So we are all the fireflies in the night that light up. What do women hold? The home and the family, and the children and the food, and the friendships, the work of the world, and the work of being human, the memories and the troubles and the sorrows and the triumphs and the love. Men do as well, but not quite in the same way. Sometimes when I'm feeling particularly happy or content, I think I can provide sustenance for legions of human beings. I can hold the entire world in my arms. Other times, I can barely cross the room, and I drop my arms, frozen. Then I'm brought back to my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, my sister, my daughter, my granddaughters, my cousins, the women who are my friends. We have spoken to each other for thousands of hours about all that can be held and not held. and how sometimes the water runs through our fingers, and how sometimes the cakes are baked and the beds are made and the books are written, and the bed and the books and the cakes. In my case, it is all good to hold. Holding is a specific thing and is a very nice thing to do. So I ask you to hold that light and to hold it forward, because it is that light that allows us to be the light in the darkness, not only for ourselves, but for others. But it allows us to be the light of compassion. When I left that restaurant, my challenge was not to bring the hate in the darkness, but the love, and to have people see that that young man had holes within his heart, and they were filled not with light, but with darkness. And we must learn to be, right, the fixers of the hearts and the holes, and fill them with love and light, so that they become impenetrable to those forces that want to turn them dark, that hold their heart connected to their head, so that they think with their heart light, not a light that has been trained by something else. That we keep bringing people back down to their heart light, that we hold this compassion out for the world. Oh, yeah. So to make that choice, to be that light. When we were in the hospital and we had been through the surgeries and we were all in the Bombay hospital, we filled the floors. I was in a heart wing because there were so many survivors that had been rushed to these places, and the doctors had worked tirelessly. These brilliant lights of hope who came. The nurse that greeted me, this stranger in their city, who masked with her beautiful eyes, became a light, a beacon to me as she held my hands and she told me, "You are here. You are safe." She wrapped me in her light and held me as they prepared me for surgery. And because we survived and we saw this, right, that our hearts felt the darkness closing in on so many of these patients in there, that my job, and this is how women do it. We saw it in the message that was given by Saba, by Sai Baba, that we are this light, that we are the nurture of this, that we ache for the children, not just our children, but the children of the world. So my job was to make people laugh when they came by. My job was to be that room where people came for that refuge. And we talked about silly things. And I showed them how to draw. And we talked about children. We talked about life. And we talked about love. And we became those lights in that dark time. And we asked them to take that out of those rooms into the other rooms, that we hopefully lit the light within their own hearts, that it allowed them to walk into the darkness of the trauma and the aches and the sorrows of others, that they could hold their light and ignite it in someone else, despite what seemed to be the darkest of all nights to have walked through. It is this light of compassion that we hold. So it is a light in the darkness. It is the light of compassion. And it is the light for the future, that we light the way. I did not come out to speak of hate. I do not speak of hate. I speak of love. The 3-part program is using all that we are given and amplifying it in a heart light to see ourselves and the world with love. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out here. And I can't see you all, but I just want you to say, how many of you woke up this morning and said, "Mwah, you are gorgeous. You got this"? No, we tend to do this. Oh my gosh, where did I get this wrinkle? Oh my goodness, what is this, right? We tend to look at ourselves. Next time, put a sticky note on your mirror. Put this, "You are beautiful. You are light. You are wonder." Put yourself a note that you will adore, right? Seeing that it will remind you of the beauty and the spirit that you are. And you can always say, "Oh, that's a little more tired, but it will be good tomorrow. That I can change this," right? That this will pass. That like the storm, the sun will come out and we will bathe in it once again. But to see ourselves and the world with love. That when we see the challenge of darkness coming on, we face it with love. That we shine our heart lights on it. And the voice that we use, right? When you looked at yourself this morning, did you say, "I love you. Thank you for being here. I am so glad you are awake with me and reflecting back on this"? Try that. Give yourself the possibility and say hello and love to that light of you. Say that self and embrace yourself with it. The voice that we use for ourselves is the voice we usually send out into the world. Let it be of love, because that in itself is also light. We hear that the light of the song, the light of the music. It is not just in our voices. It is not just in the essence of our being. It is in the essence of our presence, in everything that we do. How we orchestrate this voice out into the world. So speak to yourself with love and speak to the world with love. Challenge yourself to change those negative things into positive lights, right? Don't put the negative spin on it, put the positive spin on it. Always try to challenge yourself to be the light. So we light the future. I write stories that help kids embrace that and mostly see and speak to themselves with love, but now to make choices from a calm heart. If we are fiery hearts, right, our heart turns upside down like a rocket and it shoots up and makes us a hothead, which is not the right light. Although a good fire light is wonderful for toasting marshmallows and keeping us warm, a hot head is not the kind of light we want to put out into this world. So when we hold ourselves calm, when we see that we are who we are and embrace that heart light, that points right down to where we are standing. Right to that beautiful ground that we have the ability to take flight into this world and continue to be that light, to be that firework that continues to light up for other people. So we are the light for the future. And that's why in stories, I tell children about these hopes, these possibilities, these powers that they innately have. I had a wonderful experience last week. I was teaching in Chicago, and the book that I have now is coming out. It's called The Elephant Whisperer. And you will appreciate this. I named the character in the book Artie, because one of the people I met in the Mumbai hospital, her name was Artie, and I was told that that meant light. And I love that. And so I embraced that, and this is the story of light. But as Americans are, they made Artie a boy because Artie, but anyway, this little boy envisions his emotions as baby elephants until they get overwrought and they get bigger and bigger and bigger and stampede. And what happens when the elephants stampede? Artie stampedes. And Artie doesn't like that stampeding. And even though he screams, and even though elephants have big ears, they don't hear him. So Artie learns to listen to his emotions. So this is about learning that we are not controlled by our emotions, that we control our emotions. So Artie would look and ask the little elephants when they came starting to get anxious what they needed. So as I finished this story, and we were going to go over and do some little drawings and have people understand how we see one another, right? How we can tell if someone is hurting, how we can tell if they're surprised, how we can be that light for someone by seeing them where they are. And this little boy goes, wait, look over there. Now, as mothers, we always know that if you're at a friend's house, you never point out if there's trash or little things on the floor. We just don't, right? We're in this home, we are guests. So this little boy was pointing out this little sort of mess over by the side of the table. And I was like, I think those are just fluff. And he goes, no. They're baby elephant tracks. And he walks over and he picks up the biggest piece of fuzz and he comes over and he puts it in my hand and he says, this baby elephant has something to say to you. So in this moment, we opened up the doors of imagination, of hope, and we all asked what this elephant, right? What do you want to say to us? And I said, oh, it says, be happy, spread joy. And then another little child spread another message. And it just got better and better with this, that we have the ability to be a light for the future and light the hearts and imaginations, because our imagination manifests solutions to problems. It gives us possibilities. It also gives us hope and also the time to play in the possibilities of all we haven't discovered yet. We can be the light for the future. And we hope that that light will carry on afterwards. And then the most important that we have here, and I'll wrap up because it's almost my time, but it is the light of truth. And the light of truth deals with us flashing that light within ourselves. It is the ability to look and say to ourselves, not with, that we should be punished, not with guilt, but that we look and we say, I fell out of my love moment there. I fell out of my love light, and I can do better. And how can I do this? And how do I repair if I have, let my light burn somebody, if I have done something that way? But we look in ourselves. But again, I say, not with the anchoring into that we are bad or but we are human. And we're going to make these mistakes, and we are going to do this, but the light of possibility that we can create a better self by looking at that, by shining that light in there. But also as women, and this is crucial for us, we give, we give, we give, we do, we give, we do, we give, we do. And sometimes we forget to hold back because our light is given to so much that it is dwindling within our side, right? Within side of ourselves. And the ability, like I said, to take those moments and hold yourself in your light. Let that light regenerate. Count on your friends. Talk to them and say, please, let me lean just a little bit because I am so tired. I am struggling. That we learn to be a truthful light into this world and allow our heart light to show vulnerable, beautiful, impenetrable, you cannot unextinguishable. There's the word I was looking for. But that we hold this power and the ability to know when we need the rest of our sisters to join us and bring us up. We look to ourselves and the lights of others to lead us into new paths. So I ask you to look at your heart light. I ask you to hold that light, to sit with it, just love on it. Love that is within you and that you are this light in this world. And we don't have to be the sun. We just need to be the star in that one dark person's sky, right? That one dark night for that person, we be the star, and that we learn to be the light for ourselves when we find ourselves in that darkness. I love light, and I love the story of it. And so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you to a little task. I continue to do, right, that sometimes one of our greatest gifts to find that light within ourselves when we are struggling is that we do service for others. And within that service, we are given the ability to see, right, because there are always clues for us, always. And I photograph hearts all the time that I'm given. I see hearts everywhere and I photograph them because at one point people thought I was a little crazy. They're like, sure, you see hearts. Oh, bless her heart. She's seeing heart. But I started to photograph them to show them that they are everywhere surrounding us and something that we can engage and cook into. So I'm going to ask you, I will show you one of our beautiful, so we have created a little stuffed animal for the peace dragon. And in this, it has a little heart pocket. And the first dragons that came off are arriving in Ukraine right now and will go to the children of Ukraine. And they say, you are loved. That this is a little heart light that is in this pocket and it will be given. And that this will be donated for everyone that's purchased. One gets donated to children in hospitals, to children in need, and that we continue this light that goes on. But this is what I'd like to talk to you about, this little heart light. So my task for you this week, and every week if you choose it, that take a little heart, right? Take a little heart shape. Write on it, you are loved, you are treasured. Put a little picture of a gem. Draw a little silly something, a little smiling face, and leave it somewhere. Leave it for someone in your family that you perhaps have neglected to remind them how much you adore them. Be that star. be that surprising light that twinkles in their day. Go to the library, write 10 messages and stick them randomly in books so that when someone opens that book, this lovely little heart falls out and gives them a message. Because we can be the light. We are the heart lights in this world. Thank you for letting me share a bit of my story. Thank you for letting me take your time today and remind us of the brilliant light that we are.
I don't know where to begin. There's so much of light around, Linda. Thank you so much for that very inspirational talk.
It is my pleasure. And I apologize. I see beautiful messages. If someone could, someone in the meeting could copy the chats for me and let them know. And anyone who wants to send their email and has a question, I'd be honored to answer it if we don't get to it here. I am so overwhelmed to be here with you and would love to continue to reach out and chat and talk.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll definitely copy the chat and then we will pass it on to you. Sure, we'll do that. So many things that you talked about, take off those layers that cover the light. And the nurse clothed you with her light. Oh my goodness. What a way to look at the light. That is so different. Become the lights, light the way. Oh, I just love the heart analogy, which you said. Just turn it upside down and it becomes a rocket. Oh my goodness. It was just so good, Linda. So inspirational. So much in alignment with what our spiritual master has been teaching us. And really, and I'm so sure, this was such a divine plan. And then, you who were the light had to be the speaker for this theme, which is women are the beacons of light.
Well, I'd like to add one more part to this, in part to really bring home the idea that we need to be the light sometimes for ourselves. When I was 3 years into surviving my own cancer, my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so we had this short period of time to embrace what life we had left together. And the word loss was extreme for me. Like cancer loss is this word that can befuddle us. And I knew that I needed to give my language something different. My husband died in my arms at home on our 27th wedding anniversary. I played music, right? The sound of our love life together, our time together through songs. And I giggle because when I started to sing, he passed away. I could hear him saying, "Oh my gosh, I've heard that voice for 27 years. Ah, it's out. You can't sing a note." But the ability for me to see this in that way was by changing the word loss to given. My light was changing that word to given. I didn't lose this man. I was given 27 years with the love of my life. I was given something that can be rare in this world, but we went through so much life together that to tarnish it by saying it was taken away from me, it was given to me. And if I allow it, every one of those memories, good and bad, fills me with that light that we had. It gives me everything. So there are times where we do become that light for ourselves by saying and changing our vocabulary. Given. You are given these things. And that lovely quote that says, you are given these things as gifts in the life, that all of this is given to you. And we look sometimes and say, seriously, I would have returned that gift. Like, that is not a gift I want. But they are. And despite every challenge that I had, every one of them has given me an amplified heart light in this world. It gives me an ability to listen to people and understand some of their feelings, their emotions. It allows me to hear with a heart light on so that they know that whatever they share, I give back in love and I hold that space. So I thank you for letting me add on to the moment. But yes, we can be the light most definitely for ourselves.
Sure, Linda. Thank you so much. And then I'm sure we'll have some questions. And so we will be having a question and answer session with Linda. But now the next part of the program is about glimpses from the peer enrichment groups that ladies have been facilitating in all the regions in our country. And then I will now invite Sister Sailaja Dronamaraju. She is the lead for this peer enrichment group initiative. And then she has a group of facilitators that have been working very hard with these peer groups. And in essence, what have they been doing? They're encouraging, empowering, and then uplifting women. And then they're trying to help these women and support them. So now I'll pass it on to you, Sister Sailaja. Thank you so much. Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Lakshmi. Sairam, everyone. The humble pranams at the holy feet of our beloved Swami. Thank you, Swami, for letting me do this. And please be with me during this session. Sairam, Sister Linda, it was amazing to hear your experience and your experience about us being stars. And it's such a beautiful segue to what we are going to do in the talk to you about in the peer enrichment groups. As many of you remember, the Satya Sai National Women's Peer Enrichment Groups were created in 2020, and there was a lot of training. Wonderful sisters, many of you in this panel today and many of you in this audience today have gone through the training. And the sisters have been stars. They have been stars, literally, and leaders and pioneers in starting wonderful groups all throughout the country. Just a reminder, the enrichment groups were created to provide a structured opportunity for women to participate, sisters to participate, engage in activities, promote growth and development. But we also tried to offer a safe and spiritually based platform for the women so they can share their concerns without judgment or stigma. Like Sister Linda said, when there are times we feel that we are losing gas, we are losing energy, we need the support of other sisters around us, the other loud Sai sisters around us. These groups have provided a support mechanism to empower women to solve their own problems and also solve each other's problems, or just offer Sai-based solutions of being there for others, supporting others, and helping them deal with different situations that may seem overwhelming. And Swami says women are forms of Shakti. I want you to all hold on to your seats because you'll see how wonderfully many of the sisters have really taken this to heart and reached out and touched so many sisters within their organizations, within their centers, around them and beyond others. I'm going to first start off with Region 3, Sister Gayatri. Could you please tell us a little bit about all the peer enrichment activities that you're doing in your region with the groups and how you are doing those wonderful activities to find the authentic self within each of them?
Sairam.
Sairam.
Right now, we're just starting up our group, but we have lots of plans in place. Our group will assist Sai Sisters to come together to share problems and experiences. Our group will endeavor to assist Sai Sisters with issues that might be inhibiting them from their spiritual path. Talk about personal concerns, share problems and struggles, personal and otherwise, to get a support of, to get some sort of a solution for them. We will also engage in fun activities such as sharing recipes, tea time with Swami, games, empowerment activities to help encourage. And for our current project plans, we are engaged in planning on activities to bring Sai women together. We are also planning on a half day together with a workshop on the authentic self and a time for mindful meditation.
That's so beautiful, Sister Gayatri. Thank you so much for sharing such wonderful information. And Sister Sushila, in your region 4, you have done a lot of activities through empowering the person, empowering the sister inside and the inner self, and you've tried to already bring out the authentic self in a different way. Please share some of the highlights of your groups.
Thank you, Sister Shailaja. Om Shri Sai Ram. I'm Sushi Satyan from Region 4. I belong to the Greater St. Louis Sai Center in Missouri, and we named our group Empowering Yaya Sisters. So we've been meeting every 2 months. Right at the beginning, we decided that the purpose of our group would be to create a very safe space for all of our sisters to come together, communicate freely and openly, to empower and enrich each other, to seek Sai-based solutions for our concerns and issues. We've been discussing a lot of empowering topics that the sisters felt that we need in our lives, such as boundaries, conflict resolutions, emotional well-being, self-care. As Sister Linda was saying, we don't do enough of that. We also attempted a little bit on mindful meditation. It was very well received, so we'll be doing more of that. We're planning to have service projects oriented mainly towards women's needs for the future. And we're a very small center, and we come together for good and bad. And we are excited and enthusiastic about this program. And it has been a great journey so far. And our sincere thanks to Swami for providing us this platform to bond and support each other. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you.
That is so beautiful, Sister Sushila. With your leadership, I'm sure, Swami will direct you to greater opportunities. Sister Jaya, I know that, your center also does wonderful things in terms of connecting the mind, body, and the soul to help us to heal. Like Sister Linda said, we do, and there are times when we need to know how to help ourselves, and you do a lot with that. Please share some of the highlights of your group.
I just saw a message on the screen, sorry. My name is Jaya Ramanathan. I'm from Region 4, Memphis, Tennessee. Our ladies group is known as Sai Mata. I'm delighted to share some of our activities starting in 2022. That's when our group started. So we started with weekly meditation classes. It's a mindful meditation, just as other people are having. It's also, we are also focused on some service activities, and also the teaching people to sing bhajans. Earlier on, we listened to Kuppam Vijayamma, how important it is to sing with the bhava, raga, and thala, and so on. So we had a talk on that by none other than Swami's own student, and her name is Balaji Preeti. And as a physician myself, I was asked to focus on 3 lectures on medical topics that we had last year. The first one was given by Dr. Rekha Pillai, and it is entitled Practicing Sai Medicine. In this lecture, Dr. Rekha discussed acute and chronic neurologic problems, as well as general medical problems. And most importantly, she discussed some interventions that can be done by even a family member with no medical background. And these interventions can become so important in impending stroke patients, impending patients with myocardial infarction or heart attacks, convulsions in a child, and so on. So these are crucial in the first few minutes because it will change or improve a patient outcome in the long run and save lives. And the second medical lecture was given by a psychiatrist by the name Linda Ragsdale, and she gave a much needed and timely lecture on mental depression among South Asian women in this country. This lecture is much needed. I said that because we have had our share of very bad events last year. Three very well-educated upper middle class people holding profitable jobs, they took their own lives. So it's important that we had this lecture and everybody appreciated that. And last but not the least, Dr. Preeti Vadadi, an OBGYN specialist, gave us a nice talk on OBGYN issues, the common ones among women. And she insisted on not skipping your annual visits to the OBGYN doctor and get all your medical routine exams done, such as your cervical smear, breast exam, mammogram, bone density test, vitamin D levels, so on and so forth. She also discussed a few pregnancy-related issues, such as high blood pressure in pregnancy and so on. And she also told us about the three major causes of maternal mortality all over the world is pulmonary embolism, cerebral hemorrhage, and profuse uncontrolled bleeding. So that lecture was well received by the group. And I'm pleased to inform you that our activities in 2022 were well appreciated, as shown by our anonymous Google survey and data collection. And so they also gave us some interesting ideas for this year. So we are looking forward to a busy 2023, and I'll report that to you next year. Sai Ram to all.
Sai Ram, Sister Jaya. That is so amazing, because in this do process, you ask the sisters to stop and learn to care, learn to share, and you've enriched and empowered people through the wonderful knowledge that they have gained. Thank you so much for sharing. And Sister Anita, I know that your center does a little bit beyond and goes and reaches out to the sisters and reaches out to them and brings them what they need to empower themselves, right?
Sairam Sister Shalja and Sairam everyone. I am from Region 5, belong to Detroit Metro Center, and our group name is Sai Angels of Love. In addition to the other centers, and Sister Linda has also described some of the activities, and doing that, instead of that, in addition, we go out in a public, in a community, and the sisters who are homebound cannot come to the centers, we call them and go to their house, help them with their chores or whatever they need kind of help. Even we just hold their hands and listen to them what they're going through, and that's like very well appreciated by our center sisters. And I personally start going to our neighbors, the neighbors who need help, who are older and couldn't get out of the house, and especially in the COVID last year, we set up the appointments for the sisters and take them to for immunization, bring them home. And one of the neighbors, she just had a recently hip surgery, and she was sent home earlier from the rehab because of the less staff. So I go to her and help her out. Ask her, do you need any help? Do you need grocery shopping? Do you need anything? I will cook the food for her. Even she's not Indian, but I take food, whatever I cook, and I take it for her, and she's so happy.
So nice.
And
nice.
It's give me like, oh, I have to go out of my shell and go out there and help and make them smile. Even I go for a walk, I just smile at everybody. I don't know anybody, but I smile. I said, no, this is my way of greeting them. Even they don't smile, but after a while I noticed that all these people I was smiling at, they are smiling back. They are asking me how you are doing. So this is so like amazing. Encouraging. Like I am feeling that joy talking to these people and going out with them and spending time with them. And during this emotional and all these physical help, we are giving it to the neighbor's sister. From one neighbor, I found a healing jar. She has a healing jar. She said, my friend gave it to me. So I opened it, and there are some small paper, right? Positive affirmations on it. She said, I take one out and it says smile. I smile. or it says, oh, call a friend, or read a book. This was so amazing. So I took it, I said, okay, this one I'm going to discuss within our group and make a project for the next 2 meetings to make the healing jars for the nursing home and the hospitals to send them up. And we are very, very thankful and grateful to Swami giving us a chance to be a part of his mission and be a part of spreading his message of love. Sai Ram.
So beautiful. Sairam sister, you are all truly Sai Angels of Love. I know that's what your group is called. That is so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Sister Vijaya, I know that your group of sisters try to empower each other and enrich each other by recognizing the talents within them, truly bringing out the soul within them. Please share a little bit about the highlights of your group.
Sairam sisters, Sairam everyone. Swami really blessed us with this opportunity of Women Empowerment Initiative, which is helping us to be there for each other and meet in a loving and caring environment and empower each other. In the past 1 year, we met 4 times as a group, and our Ann Arbor Sai Center is a small group, and we have around 20 sisters, and we named our group as Sai Soul Sisters, and we have really become in the past 1 year, and our sisters expressed the and in our first, we discussed the guidelines of the initiative, and a sister who is a mental health professional talked about mental well-being and how the importance of self-care first to be there for others. And in another meeting, a sister taught us mindful meditation and progressive relaxation techniques to be mindful and have body and soul connection. And we also have great chefs in our team. So initially in our first meeting, we were asked, each sister was given an opportunity to share their skill or talent, which she will share it with other sisters to empower them. So a couple of sisters shared their signature recipes, and we sure enjoyed the sweets and treats more as part of this initiative, along with being there for each other. And we also, we thought like physically being fit is very important. So we met a couple of times. We met in a park and went for a walk and had a nice time together. And we celebrated Holi together, and we danced together joyfully. And we all felt like we connected deeply and bonded together. And overall, everyone is in our center. Our sisters are very much interested to meet more often, and also, and they are asking me to inform when we are meeting again. And our senior aunties are also very much interested to join our meets. And we are looking forward to have more of these meetings and support each other and be there for each other. And one of our plans is to do a service activity as a group. And we are thinking to learn and teach crocheting and knitting and make some scarves and hats for the homeless people. And also thinking of some other women in related service activities.
So beautiful. So beautiful, Sister Vijaya. It's so nice that you have incorporated even the senior sisters who help us to inspire ourselves to see the soul within ourselves. That is so wonderful. Sister Bhavna, I know that in your group, you also do this similar thing where you get the talents of the women, talents of the sisters to provide service to the others. Please share a little bit about the highlights of your group.
Thank you, Sister Shailaja. I'm Bhavna Govin, Region 7, from the Santa Rosa Sai Center in Northern California. We are the North Bay Peer Enrichment Group. In addition to our interactive satsangs, supporting effective listening and encouraging the sisters, sharing and learning from each other, recognizing and navigating through life challenges, sisters enjoy the skills sharing segment of our meetings. So we have learned how to dry rose petals for garnishing food items, recycling and upcycling of used old invitation cards to make gift tags, bookmarks, greeting cards, and such, and old saris to make simple table runners for our tables, cardigan style kimono and hair accessories. We find immense joy and love in creating and sharing them with our family and friends and our community members. I thank Swami for this beautiful platform created just for us. Saidam.
Sairam, sister, that is so beautiful. It's bringing out the best in all the sisters. And Sister Bija, I know that your center does a similar thing where you use literature and arts to bring out the soul from within and from all the sisters and empower them. Please share a little bit about the highlights of your group.
Sairam, sister, thank you. My name is Bijal Patel. I'm from Region 8, Southern California. We call ourselves the Inside Sisters. We started back in June last year, and we get together once a month. And as you mentioned, we reflect on topics that are brought to the table, so poems or any discussions that anyone wants to talk about. Our goal was always to create an open, loving, and safe environment, free from judgment, and a place for ourselves to be our true self. We mostly have a variety of discussions that are brought to the table, right? And they really flow organically and very naturally, which I really love. And, you know, it's a testament to, I think, the environment that we've created because, you know, folks have shared very sensitive information about their life experience and also asked very sensitive questions. But we also like to have a lot of fun. So we do laugh a lot in our groups, really, truly enjoy it every month. You know, I love it. Passing the heart along to everybody. Love you all. Sairam.
Beautiful. Sairam, Sister Bijal, that is so amazing how you pass on the heart to everyone and also bring out the best in everyone through understanding literature, not only Sai literature, but literature from outside too. Sister Jan, I know that your center goes beyond to even make his story her story and create care packages. Please share a little bit about all the wonderful things that you do, sister.
Sairama, my name is Jan DeSanti. I'm from Region 9 and my center is Southeast Denver Sai Center. And yes, we have done beautiful service for a homeless shelter of homeless mothers with children with beautiful bags and purses and personal belongings that really lift our sisters up in that way. But mostly today, I would like to share with you how we make Swami's story, his story, her story. Recently, we met to reflect on reading Baba's story to Povinam with a focus on together. Together we make his story, her story. And sisters shared from all across Region 9, everything from how Swami showed up in the form of Dr. Orange to deliver the perfect medicine, or to how listening to Povinam, his story, while driving across states to care for her ill mother was the perfect healing balm. Or learning that our words have the power to heal our hearts or our circumstances when used with love. Or simply by lighting a candle and sitting and listening for his inner voice and the inside power of peace. All of these things in sharing our stories, we learned her story blossoms as we realize how connected we are at heart. And it sustains us, it empowers us, it encourages us. But his story transforms us into the light of his love as one, as her story. And it's been so exciting discovering that and uncovering the oneness in the light. And we are only getting started. I can just imagine what he has in store for us as inside soul sisters, relating soul to soul and encompassing the light and shining it as beacons. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sister, that was so beautiful. Inside Soul Sisters. As sisters, all the sisters here are stars. All the stars are talking to a galaxy of stars here. Swami considers as forms of Shakti. And through each of these stories, you have seen each of these highlights, each of these examples. We have seen how balancing and reflecting of each of these energies that Swami has given us helps us to enhance our own life and spirituality and make his story our story. Region 3 is doing an amazing job of trying to look for ways to find our authentic self. As you remember, the Yaya sisters of Region 4 are empowering each other by trying to understand the inner self through all these simple loving activities. The Sai Angels of Love from Region 5 is doing such an amazing job of connecting with the community sisters, doing service, following the principle of love all, serve all, like Swami wants us to. The Sai Soul Sisters of Region 5 are enriching each other by recognizing each other's talents, being there for each other, touching each other with love and positive energy. The sisters from Region 7 are doing once again wonderful things by doing simple projects, recycling, reconnecting, enriching, empowering. And sisters, the Sai Mata sisters are learning to care, share, enrich, and empower from Region 4. This Region 4 sisters, Region 8 sisters are doing also a wonderful job of connecting through literature and reading poetry, trying to understand Swami literature, and trying to understand what Swami wants to do and wants us to do for him, through him. The Inside Soul Sisters are creating not only the care packages, but reaching out to each other, touching each other, and recognizing each other. Dear sisters, we have seen through the examples of these wonderful peer enrichment groups in different regions that women have this loving energy that Swami has given each one of us to assist each one of us. Like Sister Linda said, when we do, there are times when we have to sit and remind ourselves that it's the Swami within us that's helping us to enrich each other, empower each other, and support each other in this spiritual and personal journey from here to him, right? We're all here to go from here to him. We pray to Swami that he continue to empower each one of us to better ourselves in our endeavors, to follow his teachings, to balance our personal lives, and try to be what he wants us to be. Sai Ram sisters, thank you for this opportunity, Sister Lakshmi. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram, Sister Sailaja. That was so wonderful, amazing. And then what range of activities, and then what range of shining the light from within. This is really such a blessing to listen to them and to understand what is happening. And I'm sure there may be so many out there who will definitely be inspired what is going on. Just to give a little bit of background, last year in February, I think the peer enrichment group, the whole group that was there, they had trained about 40 facilitators in all the 10 regions. And we can see the impact now. And then I will put it out there. If there are many more interested, please do reach out. And we are always there here to help, support, and take this initiative forward. And thank you, Sailaja, so much. I really appreciate you taking a lead on this peer enrichment group.
Thank you.
So now we will take a short break and we will regroup at 2:45. And please do join in because we have so much more coming. 2:45, we will start with the regional women's coordinators presentations. And then you will hear the range of activities that are being done by each region. And then, of course, we also have one segment there, which will be question and answers with Linda. So Linda will be back again for all her inspiration and motivation. And then I have collected these questions from the Google form that you have all submitted. So look out for that, and then please do join in. So let's take a short break. We will regroup at 2:45. Thank you, everybody. Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. Loving Sai Rams to everyone. My name is Anu Soundar, and I'm currently serving as the Region 1 Women's Coordinator. I currently live in Windham, New Hampshire, and I go to Chelmsford Sai Center, and it is part of the Boston sub-region. First of all, thank you so much for spending your time on this very first spring weekend. Yes, here in New Hampshire today, it is snowing, and it looks like those tiny drops of light from heaven. Such a beautiful sight outside. I hope you are all enjoying the program so far, and we are very excited to share all the events that are happening across all regions. Let me first begin with the updates from Region 1 that covers Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, and parts of New York. Our ladies group was formed during the late summer of 2022. We, the women of Region 1, always believed that unity is all about collaboration, cooperation, and concurrence. Go to the next slide. To prove this, Bhagavan had given us a wonderful opportunity to come together and celebrate womanhood as part of our Ladies' Day program. This was our very first event for the year and was held at Sai Unity Center, our new Swami's residence in Lowell, Massachusetts. It was a one-day retreat with many blissful and informative sessions. We all came together. That is the beginning. We all kept together. That is the progress. And we all worked together. That's the success. Swami, we'll go to the next slide. Swami has taught us that we must develop and grow the feeling of unity and friendliness. The Ladies' Day event was very successful, in which about 100 women, both in person and Zoom, participated. Love was the uniting force to bring us all together. The program started with lighting diyas in front of the altar with many magnificent segments, such as honoring our elderly in the region. We were able to bring out our young souls through a dance workshop and many other informative workshops. We'll go to the next slide. When we realize our true potential, we gain confidence, and the panelists provided very informative talks on finance, Go Green workshop, and self-care topics on physical, mental, and other soulful activities. All these workshops have enthralled and enlightened all of us. All the brothers in our region cooked delicious food for everyone, which was a very unique experience, while we were deeply involved in many activities throughout the day. In our region, unity is our strength. A program at this scale with many activities requires many hands and bodies to make it a very successful event. I'm so grateful to all my sisters in our region who participated physically and remotely for this program. We'll go to the next one. When there is understanding, teamwork, and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. The word team, T-E-A-M, stands for together everyone achieves more. That's what our motto is. As part of the national initiative, we have taken part in the weekly reading of Tapovanam, our beloved Swami Satcharita. 4 groups from our region, consisting of 72 women, are involved in this sacred activity. We are very blessed as Swami has graced us with this opportunity to read it as a group. Where there is unity, there is always victory. Region 1 has just taken our first steps, and there are many more events in the planning, and we look forward to it with Swami's grace and blessings. Next, we go on to Region 2, and Sister Hema will proceed with her updates. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Anu, and Sairam, everyone. My name is Hema, and I am from Region 2. I attend the Sri Satya Sai Center of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. Next slide, please. What's happening in the region? Currently, we have the Tapovanam reading, where 73 women are participating. There are 14 sisters so far that have agreed to be the point of contact for her center or group. We will be having a meeting in April where we'll be talking about potential projects at a center and or regional level, and the regional women's retreat, which will most likely be in August. The region's first peer enrichment group meeting will be on Sunday, April 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. As mentioned in the previous segment, the group is a judgment-free, safe space to talk about life and to see how to incorporate Swami's teachings. Sister Geeta is the lead and Sister Rupa is the facilitator for Region 2. The sisters' email IDs are provided on the slide. Please contact them for any questions. So if you are free, please join us. We look forward to connecting with you all. Next slide, please. Speaking of connection, I would like to spend the remainder of my time talking about the centers that celebrated Ladies' Day last year. First up is the Flushing Sai Center. They celebrated on November 6th. The day started with an hour and a half of bhajans led by the sisters. As a group, they recited the Satya Sai Navaratna Mala. They had their own member, Vidya Chandrasekhar, who is an alumna of Anantapur College, as the speaker for the day, who gave an inspirational speech. Next slide, please. The Manhattan Sai Center celebrated Ladies' Day on November 10th. They had a virtual event over Zoom. Their guest speaker was Sister Pallavi Vedantam, who shared her experiences and lessons. Next slide, please. The Holmdale Sai Center celebrated Ladies' Day on November 20th. They had special bhajans, including a medley led by the sisters. And as you can see from the pictures, they all color coordinated. Next slide, please. And then the Cherry Hill Sai Center celebrated Ladies' Day and Swami's birthday together. The celebration consisted of 25 minutes of bhajans led by the women, which had expressions of love for Swami interwoven throughout. So that's the summary of Region 2 so far. This year, there will be more celebrations throughout the region. I look forward to working with a point of contacts. Thank you all for your time, Sairam. And now on to the next Regional Women's Coordinator, Sister Shanti.
Sairam, thank you, Sister Anu and Hema. I'm Shanti from Florida, Tallahassee Sai Center. I'm here representing Region 3, Florida and Georgia. We inaugurated Sai Women's Group a few months back. It's very impressive what our ladies have accomplished in a short span of time. We are just blossoming and at the infant stage. I'm happy to share the summary of our women devotion and service. Now, the Sai Women's Group was established in Region 3 in June of last year. Our first meeting was on September of last year. Region 3 joined the National Women Peer Enrichment Group in July of last year. We had our inaugural meeting of March 10th of this year. Contact for Women Peer Enrichment Group is Sister Gayatri Basido and Sister Brenda Kalinsa. The website is given in the slide. In February of this year, we established a women's wing contact in all centers. We'll be having a ladies workshop during our yearly Memorial Day weekend retreat. Northeast Atlanta celebrated Ladies' Day and Swami's birthday in November of 2022 with bhajans. Orlando celebrated Ladies' Day and Swami's birthday by donating cooked food items. Next slide, please. This is a Northeast Atlanta Center celebrating Ladies' Day and birthday. Next slide, please. And this is Orlando Center celebrating Ladies' Day and Swami's birthday by donating cooked food. This same event. Next slide, please. I would like to thank Swami, the national team, and Ms. Lakshmi Vyakaran for giving our Region 3 this opportunity for ladies. Sairam, moving on to Region 4.
The first women's retreat in the mid-central region of the Sri Satya Sai International Organization, USA, brought together devotees from Tennessee, Missouri, and Kentucky to delve deep into the theme inquiry, intuition, and inner strength. Devotees explored attributes and tools to harmonize the psychological, social, and the authentic self. Anne participated in a panel discussion to recognize, rejoice, and bring spiritual strengths to the forefront of everyday living. Devotees also explored the role of intuition in strengthening the authentic self and harnessing the true voice. Mrs. Aruna Pradeep, alumnus of Sri Satya Sai Women's College in Anantapur, India, shared her journey and evolution at the Divine Feet. Devotees also spent time in self-care and seva, making holiday bracelets for women at the Nashville Rescue Mission.
Saira, this retreat personally has been heart-opening, faith-strengthening, and purpose-fulfilling experience for me. Starting with the dream, to take Swami on a ride, to concluding confirmation that he showered upon me upon seeing a truck riding ahead of me on highway with a large symbol Om, has been nothing but witnessing of the magical unfolding of Bhagwan's will and the experience of joy that is only possible when we align our will with his. We felt Bhagwan's presence in the garland falling, his wisdom in the uncertainty of the moment, and his infinite love and grace in our triumph. We reflected on his teachings to recover our true selves by repairing our wounds. Results were astonishing. Heart-to-heart connections were established by bringing our vulnerable selves to the circle, to look at them in his light, to embrace them with his love. Towards the end of the retreat, as a tribe, we stood connected, truly connected, strong, yet very light. Most importantly, we felt his presence within and all around us. We tasted his love. What more can we ask for? Thank you, Swami. Saira.
The Sri Satya Sai International Organization's Region 4 Recycle and Redesign Group is a spinoff from 2022 National Women's Retreat Breakout Session, Recycling Old Saris. All are welcome. We start with a 30-minute satsang followed by an hour presentation nurturing the truth, goodness, and beauty within. We are continuing redesigning old saris into kimono tops, infinity scarves, shawls, and adorable bags. Region 1 sparked art creativity by using EnviroCare materials. We all go green, sharing organic gardening tips and care practices for our favorites. Region 10 inspired us with their gardening service project and how to build raised garden beds in center members' backyard. Region 2 demonstrated steps in fermenting kombucha. We explored food preservation techniques of home canning and food dehydration. We are there for each other by encouraging each family to have an emergency escape plan. We love the satsang and the chance to share and to be love in action. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. I'm Sai Gita Uttamarajan,
currently serving as the Women's Coordinator for Region 5. I'm from Michigan and I attend the Detroit Sai Center. Region 5 covers the states of Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Nebraska. Next slide, please. So we hosted our regional women's retreat on January 28th. It was a hybrid program for 3 hours on the topic, Tapping Your Inner Potential, Loving Thyself. Next slide, please. We had over 100 participants, both virtually and in person combined. It was great to be able to just gather in small groups, especially after the long quarantine, and enjoy the satsang online. Next slide, please. So we started the program with beautiful bhajans and a wonderful meditation session by Sister Indra Palekar. Next slide. Our guest speaker was Sister Salokya Tumala. She's an alumni from Anantapur campus, followed by a workshop on technology and body by Sister Ramya Kumar. The other initiative that our region is very active is the Tapovanam reading. We have a total of 6 groups. We have compiled reflections from a few of our members in a video. Please enjoy. Sarah.
The inspiration I received was to do seva whenever you get a call. It is not something you do according to your calendar. You just serve whenever you receive a call or you see a need that needs to be met. Namaste, Sairam.
Sairam, everyone. It's really a blessing to read Tapovan chapter by chapter, and really it is an eye-opener to us to realize who Sai is in reality.
Sai Ram, I feel so fortunate and blessed to read Tapovanam. Every time I read, Swami sends some new insights to learn more about his glory and to make us realize how lucky we are.
Sai Ram, chapter 1 of the Tapovanam says that it is only on the strength of good deeds done during numerous past lives that one is now privileged to read the Tapovanam, and that it is through his will and not by chance or by accident. So it is indeed our good fortune to take up this holy activity to learn about the sacred life story of our Lord, Sri Satya Sai Baba.
Any time that I've had a problem that I faced in life, I would literally read the Tapovanam the entire single day over 11 hours.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Tapovanam. పారాయణం ప్రారంభంలో స్వామి ప్రేమవనంలో పూల మొక్కలుగా ప్రారంభించిన మనలను పారాయణ ముగింపులో సాయి సాధనావనంలో వటవృక్షాలుగా మార్చే శక్తిని స్వామి ప్రసాదిస్తారు. తపోవనము పారాయణ అంత శక్తివంతమైనది.
I think the very first chapter that I read talked about Ayush Puja. And in that, Swami talked about directing all of our bad or evil qualities towards God. And I think that was the time where I was having a lot of introspection in terms of, some of the feelings that I was getting, good or not, and whether I should be thinking like that or not, or why is this happening. The passage that he had in there where he described about the evil tendencies.
Reading Sai Tapovanam has been extremely rewarding, fulfilling, very good for my soul, and it sets my week proper and it lets me focus on so many more important things in life. I'm extremely thankful, and every time I read it, there's a strong lesson that I learn from it. So, Sai Ram.
2 things got attracted is Namasmarana and Sai's work at regular life. With Namasmarana, I committed myself to Swami to chant Sai Gayatri 108 times morning and evening. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Just like plants imbibe water from the ground, while reading Tapovanam, we deeply absorb Swami's love, which has strengthened our faith in his holiness. It helps us to maintain inner peace during difficult times as well. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. I feel blessed to share the experience of reading Tapovanam with my Sai Sisters. I look forward to reading every chapter as I feel like I'm reliving our dear Swami's life by listening to his divine glories. His life is his message, and every chapter is filled with lessons to help us with our spiritual growth and self-transformation. Jai Sai Ram.
తపోవన పారాయణం సుందరవన విహారం శీతల జీవనయానం తమో నివారణం పాపహరణం వేద పారాయణ ఫలం నారాయణ దర్శనం ముక్తిప్రదాయకం తపోవన పారాయణం దివ్యవన విహారం సాయి చరణాంబుజ కైవల్యం.
So that is the summary for Region 5. Now I pass on to Sister Lakshmi for an exciting Q&A session with Sister Linda Ragsdale. Over to you, Sister Lakshmi.
Thank you so much. I'm so humbled by all the activities that are being done in the different regions. Thank you so much, Sister Anu Sounder from Region 1, Sister Hema Kodavati from Region 2, Shanti Muniratnam, Region 3, Radha Babu, Region 4, and Sai Gita Uttamarajan. Really, thank you so much. And for all those who are out there, if any of these activities inspire you and you want to get more information, always just feel free to contact any of us, to contact me, and then we can always direct you to the right source. Okay. With that said, I would like to invite Linda the Light back for a Q&A session. Welcome back, Linda. Do you like it, Linda the Light, now?
Well, you know, we had a little conversation about when I was shot and I woke up, I was given a new name. And rightly so, I had lost a great deal of blood. So when they tried to write my name when I entered the hospital, I did not wake up as Linda Ragsdale. I woke up as Linda Oracastala. And so someone asked me, did you ever translate that? So if you look at it, it is to cast a golden light. So I laugh at that and I'm like, you know, I kind of like Oracastala. That's a lovely thing. Although it would have been a more challenging thing for my family to find me because they did not know of my name change. Right? They still assumed I was, you know, Mom Ragsdale.
Yeah, that's because you were shining your light from there. That's where you got that name. Linda, the path was pretty clear, huh? The Almighty knew what your path was ahead of you. You know, light the way, Linda. All right. So, Linda, you have talked about terrorist attack, trauma, cancer, and so what do you think is the big lesson life has taught you?
Do you know, I have to say you have to stay in your heart. Because when you look through everything through your heart and you know, we take that word that's given. When we sit with that, there is nothing too big for us that we can't handle. There is nothing too big that we can't put into a perspective that we can handle and take step by step to get through any event in our lives. When we teach peace, I have dots around a heart. And we talked about, right, the heart flipping upside down, it looks like a rocket. But the idea is that you keep your heart in this, but each of those dots can be an event in your life. And unless you let it grow out, and what ends up happening is when you put finances and you put your health and these bubbles keep getting bigger, what happens is your heart gets squished in this. We need to keep all of these things in a perspective that allows our heart to freely navigate our way through, that it becomes our heart compass. So the thing is stay within your heart, right? Keep that heart light onto anything that comes in because it will help us keep central to anything that comes our way. And I have had, you know, like you said, I had terror on the outside, I had terror on the inside, and terror in the one that I loved. And we learn through all of these that the grace and the peace comes from staying in that heart light and keeping yourself warm and being able to warm others who are also facing these challenges.
Wow. Okay, here comes the second question.
Okay.
So, like it's easy to talk to somebody and to share love when you share the same set of values, right? but we consistently come across someone who may not share those values. So how do you still stay on your path and not still be disturbed by what is the path and what are the values the person you're dealing with is following?
So the greatest challenge is just what you say, is staying to our path. If you allow yourself to get pushed onto their path or pulled into that arena, then you're fighting these battles that are not only not yours, but they are not yours to carry. And so what we do is keep a light focused on our path. And we say, come join us, right? Come join us. By always offering that opportunity to put a loving voice to anything, by always putting that forward, we don't engage in that. And not only that, we send love back to those who are perhaps throwing shade, as young girls might say today, or our young folks might say. But the idea is that we always keep to that light, and we always offer grace back, that you may be able to walk this path, that you may see that what I am sending out to you is an easier, lovely life, and that we do not get burned out by these energies and emotions that are draining of ourselves. That we offer our path as the light way, right? It is the one that you can go. We illuminate our stories so that they may see the choice, because we can never change somebody, right? We can never get in there, but we can always show is our path, our choices, and our heart choices. And by helping others learn to make the heart choice, not the hard choice. How's that?
Yeah, I know. I like that. Yeah. The hard choice and not the hard choice. Yes.
Not the hard. That we simply, right, that to stay in that love, because those other people, right, and I have to say, I was inspired by someone who was saying the half glass, right, the half glass full and empty. And I wrote back and I said, really the glass is full because it's full of air on the other end. And the illusion is that we think that that is drained, empty. No, it is always full. But when we embrace that idea that it's always full, then we can fill it more with not the air and the space that takes up. Because when we see the space in someone's heart, it can be filled with darkness. That's what we have to be aware of. And that space within ourselves. And so by choosing to embrace the ability to fill ourselves with love and keep replenishing ourselves, and to the point where it overflows, and that we have so much to share with others that it is literally given into other cups. So I think I got off point and I flew on the other film, but it really is, we cannot change somebody else's mind. And I think for us to play in that folly is not. It is for us to always walk our path truthfully and show the division in that thinking, that we can create the space for them. But like I said, always send back love. Always send back love. It is that opportunity that we do not take, we hand them back their hate, we hand them back their darkness. We say, here it is for you to look at. It is not for me to carry, but I wish you to look at this, and I will be here when you are ready to talk of light. I will be here when you're ready to talk about love. I will be here. And we also protect ourselves a little bit from that, because we can turn around and say, okay, well, that's the way you feel. I actually think that we should love one another, right? We are facing the challenges of a sort of rabid hate in this world. We can always choose radical love.
Yeah, that's so true. Our divine master always addressed us as embodiments of love. Whenever he spoke to us, whenever he gave a public discourse, it was always embodiments of love, embodiments of divine soul. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, wonderful. Very nice. Linda, I know you've been doing off late a lot of work with Ukraine and then the children from there. I want you to speak about it and elaborate what's going on there. That would be very helpful for most of us. Yeah, thank you.
And I wish, I don't know if I have. So one of the things that I just did this presentation to talk about this opportunity. When I was going through all of the challenges in my life, one of the things, the beauty of sisterhood, and that is that I got notes, I got texts, I got Facebook messages all these little notes that said, I see you and I hold you in love. So that's why I sort of tasked us all to send those little love boats out into this world. And when the war hit, I have not been one who has faced PTSD from the shooting. I'm grateful. I had 2 very short incidences when I first came home. I relived the shot itself, and I had smelled the blood, and I thought that there was rotting food, but those were very quick. And my job was quickly to create more light and love in this world. And that's what immersed me in cleansing any of the darkness that had come into my life. It was that I was going to fill more with love. But Ukraine, I wanted those children to be seen and heard and let them know that we love. So I reached out to all the schools that I had done as a picture book author and said, let's send them notes. I did sunflowers and we did pinwheels, and kids could blow the pinwheels and send us notes, and we sent them. And so I knew that they would get there. We had kids from Mexico send them too, and I knew they would get there. I didn't know, I just trusted. And then we had people who were going over there. So we sent them with all the art from the kids that was sent. And then we also sent pins, and we started to send stickers. So I sent Peace Dragon enamel pins, and we started this shop. Well, as always, when you get a note, so the children from Ukraine sent us back. I do have it. So they sent us back their art. So, and just so you guys know, Lakshmi didn't tell me these questions. I didn't know them, but I actually have the book. Oh. So what happened is, right, this is the word of mouth. This is the unity. This is taking the light and how the light grows. I collected the art, and we were simply going to post it on Facebook and let people know what these children were going through, because war affects the most innocent. And we had to let everyone see what our children were facing in this. So these beautiful pictures came with their stories. And they tell us, and we look at this art and we ache with some of it, and we laugh with some of it, and we see the courage and the strength and the hope of the next generation, which will have to rebuild from here, and the faith and the love that they have. And when I told my publisher of my picture books that I was getting all this art, they volunteered to take this art and create this book, which they did, and then donated the publishing, everything. So we put it on the store and we sell it, and 100% of the profits go back to Ukraine. And it helps those that sometimes can't get the aid right away, because we have all these teachers who are on there. And for 2 hours this morning, before I got on this call, I teach and I talk every Saturday with teachers in Ukraine. And my first question to them, always, and they know this, which is, tell me something good. And within the war and the challenges that they face, I am having them look for the good every week, and they are trained to come. And now we are getting more stories than just one, right? That we get these hopes and these stories and these sillies that come in. And you can tell by me, I love to laugh. So we are going to laugh and we're going to share. And today we talked about heroes, and we talked about those people, our everyday people who are those lights in our lives. That heroic moves are just, like I said, being there for someone. They're holding them. So we are selling this book. We've sent over $25,000. And just so you know, I am the Peace Dragon. So I'm very proud of this. We are sending the dragons. They're getting over there now as we speak. We've sent we purchased an ambulance, which a friend of mine, I'm hoping I will hear from him tonight, delivered to the front lines in Ukraine. We are looking to go back again. I hope eventually that in the near future, I will be able to go and work within the orphanages with the children, and to be able to help them draw and be able to read and play. So it is my great pleasure to be a connector. And you know, I met the woman who I work with this whole project in the Ukraine Culture Initiatives, who got us with all the teachers. I've never met her. I've talked with her over Facebook and over Zoom, and we've talked for over a year now, and we are best of friends, right? I feel like I've known her my lifetime, and we have never met face to face. And yet every time she's in my life, every time I get that's that light that comes into my heart. Oh, it's from Ina, right? Oh, it's from Lakshmi. Oh, it's this, right? That we get this little heart thump and this light. So yes, I am honored to be able to work and spread that news everywhere, right? And that the little dragons are just the beginning, right? That not only will they go to Ukraine, but now they will go to hospitals and centers. So some of you that are doing work with children, please reach out to me. We would love to make sure that some of these dragons get to the children that you are working with. And in the homes, I remember that one, and I apologize for not remembering because there was so much beauty and work being done. But someone was talking about working with women who are in shelters with their families and stuff. Please let us know. We would love to be able to help. And if you feel inspired, I would love for you to help me sell the books so we get more over there. It is just a lovely story of how our lights connect to be that light around the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's so inspiring, Linda. And just to let you know, our organization also, we have so many of teachers who are women. And then we have been working with children from the Afghan refugee camps. So we've been working with those children. Our spiritual organization is engaged with tutoring them. And then I'm sure we'll be able to collaborate and we'll be able to exchange a lot of ideas.
And please know, right, I'm a picture book author. I was so shocked. I was putting up a display and I realized I have 10 picture books, but all of them come with stories and abilities for us to work with our children and have them gain a little bit of this peace light within them, to have them say, right, one of the stories is called Not Opposites. And it was written because I remember, right, we teach in opposites. We teach night, day, right?
Yes.
And the problem with that is, Lakshmi, if I think I'm right, that makes you wrong. And that's not right thinking. That the mantra that, right, because this comes from my roots of meditation, the mantra is not better, not worse, not opposites, just different.
Different.
That we learn to embrace all of it, that may be your choice, and it's not better, not worse, it's just different. The way you get to a math answer, not better, it's not worse, it's just different, so that we embrace the beauty, right, of all the puzzle pieces that make this world, because each one of us is a puzzle piece that needs to be seen, deserves to be seen, and should be seen, so that we see the world as the whole, not just in one light.
Yeah, I know.
And I often, so I do picture, but I do Zoom, I travel to go places. So please, if I can be of help and you have certain things that you'd like to address with students, please call me up. So here's the secret. I never charge because I'm blessed to be given this path to walk, and I adore it. And if we sell the books and the pins to adjust this, it goes right back into teaching peace and reaching more students. And where people make me take money, I only take half of it so they can have another speaker come in and visit the school as well. So there is always opportunities for us to do this. And I look forward to working with anyone who would like to play. And like I said, I love it.
Sure, Linda, that's really so wonderful. And just like how you said, just be different. It's just the language, Yeah.
Right.
Instead of, that's what you said even earlier when you were speaking,
And it's an intervention with family, right? It's an intervention with teachers and students. Oh, so-and-so did this. Why do you think they did that? What could be the motivation behind that? Is that different than the way you would have done it? Well, then let's find out if we can't suggest a different way for someone, right? That we have this ability to create a conversation and a solution that allows us to have children think a little bit differently, and also resolutionary, that it doesn't cause a problem, it causes the resolution.
Correct. Exactly. Yes. That's such a wonderful, very inspiring, Linda. Linda, do you want to talk about your 3-piece code curriculum?
No.
Your favorite, I know.
I'm sorry, well, it is very simple. So the way I teach peace is through 3 activities. 3 stories, and they're world stories. And the first story is the Jane story about the blind men and the elephant.
Oh, okay.
Right? So when we talk about seeing with love, so view, voice, and choice, the first story is, and I tell it with frogs. And so I tell it with 7 blind frogs who have all come together, and each one of them has a different background. So when the frog who has the military background feels the tusk, he immediately associates it with what he knows, which is war. Right? So he's like, arm yourselves, there's a big, it's attacking. And the person who is the explorer sees the long back of the elephant as an exploration. And the sailor sees the ear as the mast, the sail on a ship.
Yeah.
Right. And the tailor sees the tail. Oh, this is an unraveling, floor mat. I can fix this up. And the builder sees the legs as the bridge. So when we take all of those pictures and put it all together so that we learn that it is not the single point, that is a 360-degree view. And I told you that we have that heart with the dots around it. That's the symbol. If I take away one of those dots, the heart disappears that's connected with that. So if I take away and I don't let half of the people be seen or heard, I live my life half-heartedly. If I try to hide my temper and I erase that dot, I erase that, and I will never live wholeheartedly because I am not looking at who I am and learning how my temper is a beautiful thing that tells me something is going on. It allows me to temper it because I can say, what is it that is bothering me about this? What is it? And that dot doesn't get bigger, like I say, and make that heart immovable. It becomes that way. Voice is a beautiful story from Myanmar with the fellows that I worked with at Humphrey, and it's called Words Between Brothers. And it's about 2 little birds, parrots that are raised in the same nest, and a windstorm blows them apart. And one goes to live in the house of a thief, the other goes to live with the house of a holy man. The one bird learns to speak of love and calm, and the other robber, well, anyway, a young man the bird says, kill him. And so he runs and ends up in the holy man. And the young bird realizes that that's his brother. So he goes. And the question is, we never have to keep the same language that we are entrained with, that we can learn to change that. So in voice, we do this others, right? So when we teach view, we put a toy elephant in a circle and we have everybody see. And someone is seeing the trunk and the eyes and the ears. Well, on the other side of that, they're seeing the tail and the back end of the elephant. But the thing is, we're looking at the same thing. So how do we get to know the whole picture? And then we turn 1 degree and we get a whole nother aspect of this. So how do we learn to get the whole story? Because once we see something, we put our voice to it. And what will we put our voice to? And how do we keep that positive, loving voice to that message? So Words with Brothers, we challenge ourselves to create that voice and to be sure that we are heard. So we do this small little exercise with voice, and then the same thing with choice. This story came from, I believe this was from India. This came from Raj, and I'm trying to think of he's up near Tibet, but he did a story called The Jungle Circle. And the Jungle Circle is about, this little bunny gets pinned by a tiger and he's going to get eaten. He says, wait, I've got goat friends that are much meatier. And so everyone keeps throwing everyone under the bus. And they finally go to the elephant to, solve this because the tiger is trying to eat them all. And so the elephant calls a circle of everyone. And there's a space between him and the rest of the animals. And the tiger comes in. Because we cannot create a solution unless we have the problem included in that circle of understanding. And so then we talk about decisions, and I have this little toy car, and I put it in front of everyone, and they have to, do the remote control. Well, the funny thing about this is I put my iPhone down, and I say, if you get the car to my iPhone is yours. Seriously? No, because no one's ever gotten it. And then I have other people stand beside them and say, you can't do this, you can't, right? The people who are whispering in your ear that you can't do this, the whole entire thing. And then we've got another group of people who are going to put a cover on my phone. So even when you get there, so the amazing thing is, I hand you this remote control. I didn't say you had to use the remote control. Mm-hmm. Right? So everyone Bottom assumes this. And the thing is, the remote control, you have no control. It's a crazy car. So even if you put it to go forward, it goes backwards. If you try and figure this, it doesn't go anywhere. And then there's people in their ear. The thing is very, very unique, which is the natural way to follow is not always the best way. Before you act on something, go through all the possibilities. So that heart in that circle becomes the compass of all the different ways that you can choose. What can you choose to do? Don't necessarily follow the tried and true path. Try to take a look at new ways. And if, right, so many people give up when the plastic bin gets put over my phone. So they hand me back the remote. Like, I didn't say you couldn't go over and pick up the plastic bin. You could have just gone over and picked up the phone, right? Like, you didn't have to go with any of this folly. So the thing is that sometimes we make our lives more difficult than they can be. When are we giving ourselves a remote that doesn't work? When are we choosing not to go the easiest route, which is go pick up the phone? I never said you could, right? That there are rules that we can choose to create and rules that we don't have to listen to and opportunities that exist. So anyway, it is this, right? All of these stories. So it's literally for implementation. It is what we call a living curriculum. You do the story and you do the activity, and then it's always brought up in conversation. Do you think that's the way they're seeing it? Well, how could they be seeing it differently? Because you're looking at the same problem, right? So now we start conversations once again about how to see and speak and make choices that are heart-centered. And that is what that whole little symbol is. It is that heart-centered responses to everything.
Yeah. So beautiful, Linda. Yes, I know. We have to kind of sometimes think out of the box and not the conventional way of doing things.
Right, yes, exactly. I handed you something and you automatically assumed you had to use it.
Use it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know what? One of the most beautiful things when I came back to India on the return trip, I visited
2010.
one of, pardon? 2010.
2010.
Yes. When I came back, and my American ambassador doctor took me to a facility that was one of the first for autistic children and children with challenges. So we went there, and I have pictures of this, and I remind my teaching friends all the time. Beautiful banner that hangs down, and it says, "If I can't learn the way you teach, will you teach me the way I can learn?"
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. So the question is, when we're trying to reach some of these people who aren't listening, then the question is, how can we get you to listen? And by example, living that life that we choose is sometimes our best option to be heard and seen.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, amazing. Okay, Linda, one last question. How do you manage to be talking in a very loving way and being very truthful under all situations?
It's very, very simple, right? I choose. I choose love. I choose love all the time. I choose love. Now, I do not always choose love when someone cuts me off in traffic. I have to say, I still struggle with not saying things that are not appropriate to other drivers that cannot hear me. And then I have a glass heart that reminds me I don't know what's going on in that vehicle. I don't, but I choose it. I try to keep myself in, literally standing on that heart, literally holding my heart here. And before I blow or anything else, that I look, why is this disruptive to me? What is this, that it is disruptive? But if it is golden, then I want to sing it out. So I will share that light and speak it out and do that. And I am given. And what I do with what I'm given never has to mark another person. It never has to harm another person, but it can help them get through if they know something they're going through. I can choose to be a light always. And also, when I make the wrong decision, I can also turn around and say, and that's human, and I totally goofed up, and I will choose differently, right? That I choose, and that's what I say. I choose love.
So nice, Linda. Thank you so much. And then I'm sure you'll get to see the chat, but there's so many of them that do really want to get in touch. And then I will talk to you offline, and then we'll figure out something.
And please,
okay?
and you can share my email, share it. You can also go
Sure.
on to the
Okay.
peacedragon.com. You are more than welcome to. I look forward to speaking with everyone who would like to speak.
Okay.
Please know too, I'm getting ready to travel again. So if it takes me a little time, patience, because I will respond to everything.
Sure, Linda. Thank you so much once again for answering all those questions and being very inspirational and motivational. Yes,
so
we
here's
love
what
you.
we do, right? So this is it.
Yes.
And we do heart fireworks.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. And so now we will move on to Region 6. And then I would like to invite Lakshmi Puchincherla. She's the regional president to update us about what is happening in Region 6. So over to you, Lakshmi. Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Lakshmi. And it's really hard for me to speak after that wonderful, inspiring talk by Linda. So Linda, thank you so much. And Sister Lakshmi, thank you for the opportunity. So Region 6, I would say the women's wing is in the very initial stages of budding. We do have some activities that are going on, but we started the year with a wonderful satsang with National Women's Coordinator Lakshmi Vyakaran coming into our officers circle to share a little bit about Women's Wing. If you could go to the next slide, please. So that satsang we had on February 9th, and we also started the Tapovanam reading. There are about 4 groups, and I'll share a little bit of inspiration from that group later. And follow up to the February 9th discussion with the officers, we identified the peer enrichment lead for our region, Anuradha Lingamaneni. She is from the Grand Spas Center. And it's wonderful that we are able to now kind of start the official women's group to support that as well. We do have an informal sisters group. I'll also talk about that a little bit later. If you go to the next slide, please. So Tapovanam reading, it's wonderful to have the 4 groups of women participating in this lovely satsang of reading reading His glory and basking in the joy. And then few reflections from the group. If you would move to the next slide, please. One that I really want to highlight is, there is one sister who shared beautiful dream of that she had from where Swami was really overlooking, and all the ladies were sitting in front of Swami, and Swami kind of looking through with his beautiful smile and blessing everyone. And then it's such a acknowledgement that we are one in this together. And the young mom, one of the young mom who is also participating in the group, also shared that she listens to the audiobook while tending to the baby, and it's a beautiful experience of bonding and also sharing that love and joy, and knowing the early His glory in the very early stages of the baby as well. So that's beautiful sharing. If you would move to the next slide, please. So a little bit about the sisters group that we had in Region 6 for a very, very long time. We had actually a sister, Vilma Bronchi. Some of you might know her. She has been in this region for many, many years and took many of the group of devotees to Parthi as pilgrimages. And she started in early 2000s a women's group. And she went through a deep exercise of satsang, and then bringing them together for inner reflections and such. And even though she is no more with us, that group that started continues to meet in various ways. One of that is monthly satsang, and there are a variety of activities that happen around that group. Monthly satsang includes Gayatri chanting, There is also maypole meditation that the sisters actively practice. We also conduct some study circles, and coming out of that is, even though that group is virtual, we all take at least one or two service projects that we can do offline, and then everybody brings their own learnings from those service projects into the group and then have a satsang around it. So it's a beautiful sharing is all I would say. And there is also prayers and bhajans, whenever there is a need in the community, we come together to offer the prayers of peace. The sisters, some of the sisters also meet every other week on a Tuesday evening to do a study circle. It's really deep and profound sharing by the sisters. And currently the topic that is going on is Christmas discourses. We started in the last year, October, November timeframe, and we are still continuing. As sisters group, we also take up prayer sessions every once in a while. When we feel there is more need for prayers, we conduct an hour of prayer session, including all kinds of prayers and chantings and reflections as well. This year, we plan to do much more actively, at least once a quarter. We would like to do that on a regular basis, so that we can send our light and love that we all have around to the communities. Again, I talked more about the informal. I know we are working towards finalizing the Women's Coordinator for Region 6, and Sister Lakshmi has been helping us with that. So we are hoping to have many more formal activities coming soon once we identify a lead for that. So with that, I offer all my love and light to all the sisters who gathered here. And thank you for this opportunity to share what we are doing in Region 6. I would now like to pass this on to Region 7 Coordinator, Pavitra Dharmasilan. Sairam, sister.
Sairam. Sairam, everyone. My name is Pavitra Dharmasilan, and I am from Region 7, Northern California, serving as the Regional Women's Coordinator. And Region 7 is all about sisterhood. The sisters of our Region 7 always have been together and have helped each other in many ways. And we have about 8 sisters across region as women's point of contact from each centers currently. Next slide. The very first WMR, or the Women's Mini Retreat, took place in 2005, hosted by Sisters Suzanne Slyman in our region. And ever since then, we have had many women's mini retreats in our region. And since the pandemic, we have had online satsangs with sisters. And this year will be again in-person women's retreat, which is going to happen May 13th at the ashram in Tracy, California. For all the get-togethers of our sisters, our brothers of our region do the cooking, and we are looking forward to the delicious meal this year as well from them. Next slide, please. These are a few pictures from our regional women's mini retreat held previous years. Our sisters believe in understanding, bonding, and sense of belonging. They feel that when sisters come together in the name of Sai, which is service, adoration, and illumination, there's always unity. Next slide. During our get-togethers, we do many service for women's shelters as well. And as this brings up the togetherness aspect with all the sisters. Next slide. For the very first time in our region, we have the Sai Illumination series hosted every other month. It is a speaker series within our region to unite, illuminate, and experience sharing for sisters within our region. And we have had so far 3 speakers within our region, and the satsangs have been great so far. Again, we have had the national theme for this series as well, which is Women Are the Beacons of Light. Next, let's hear from our regional sisters who are holding several positions within our region regarding what sisterhoods means to them. And thank you, and Sairam.
Being an only child, Swami has blessed and given me a chance to experience, live, and learn what sisterhood is from all my Sai sisters at the center. Sai sisters, through their love and compassion during both joyous occasions and challenging times, have shown that there is no reason or season for love. Sisters are ever willing to care, love, and provide a nurturing hand to get through the journey of life. Sisterhood is learning, serving, inspiring, motivating each other, and growing together on the spiritual path. Sisterhood is love, compassion, empathy, care, and experiencing Swami's love flowing through all these hands and hearts always. Sai Ram.
Leading the Tapovanam reading group has been a very transformative experience. Love for Swami and the dedication, devotion, and discipline of the sisters within the group is evident week after week like never before, supporting each other and praying on behalf of everyone. They strengthen their bond of sisterhood as they collectively reach their goals.
We, the sisters of Sri SSSIO Center of Tracy Mountain House, would like to describe how we benefited from sisterhood.
Some of us are flowers, some of us are leaves, but we are all weaved together by this beautiful stream instituted by Swami. We learn together by being in each other's company, not just by being taught what's right, but also holding on to each other when we face challenges.
Sai Ram, for me, sisterhood is love, warmth, and security.
For me, the sisterhood is love and joy and happy.
For me, it is being ourselves and not being judgmental, caring for each other.
Sai Ram, in good days and bad days, you are there always, the sisters. Give you a crying shoulder and laughing faces.
Sai Ram, sisterhood is empathy. Sisterhood is feeling Swami's love. Sai Ram.
Nobody is left behind or forgotten. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. My name is Usha Prasad and I am from SSSIO Baba Center of Sacramento. For me, the sisterhood is helping another sister. It should not be helping your blood sister, but somebody down the street or a co-worker or a family member or somebody in the community needs help. Sisterhood is helping other sisters who are not able to do what they were wanted to do, and not your own sister. It's anyone can be your sister. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Sisterhood means to me friendship, love, and compassion for each other. Acceptance for who you are is the supporting shoulder that you have. It's like a family that makes you feel that you are not alone. We are in together. It's a powerful strength and the belief that helps you blossom to be better you. Sai Ram.
Sisterhood is love, care, trust, and most of all, friendship.
Sisterhood means inspire, support, comfort, and love.
Sai Ram, now I pass on to Region 8, Sister Sureka Vasan. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you, Sister Pavitra. Thank you, Sister Pavitra. I offer my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Dear sisters, elders, my loving Sai Rams to you. My name is Sureka Vasant, and I represent Region 8, which consists of Southern California, Nevada, and Hawaii. I am with the Satya Sai Center of Simi Valley, California. Next slide, please. In Region 8, we just started the women's group less than a year ago. And as a brand new women's group, we are trying to establish and strengthen our group. Some of the activities we have done in the past are, we had our first women's group meeting in September of last year. Our first meeting was very successful with more than 30 participants, and we came up with a list of ideas for activities. Those are reading Sai literature, satsang with Sai Sisters, workshops on how to grow vegetables at home, reduce, recycle, and reuse old fabric, picnic with a purpose, which means including a service project while having fun with the Sai Sisters, learning and discussing the meaning of prayers from different religions, and chanting Lalita Sahasranamam, which is 1,000 names of Goddess Lalita. Next slide, please. In 2022, we celebrated our first ever Region 8 Ladies' Day along with Swami's birthday on November 19th at the Sai Premanilayam. We had two inspiring speakers, Dr. Haima Reddy and Usha Narayanan. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Starting in December 2022, we are meeting on a monthly basis to have satsang with Sai Sisters. I'm very, very happy and excited to share that starting this month, we are reading the Women's Study Guide as part of our monthly meetings. And also, as of 2023, we started chanting Lalita Sahasranamam on a monthly basis. Next slide, please. These are some of the activities we are planning on having this year. Our first in-person meeting with a service project of reusing and redesigning old fabric to make scrunchies for the homeless students in Ventura County schools, Sai Sister Picnic, Regional Women's Retreat, Speaker Series, and finally, workshops on starting a vegetable garden at home. Next slide, please. One of the most important activities women in Southern California are part of is Sai Premanilayam. Region 8 is blessed and privileged to have Sai Premanilayam in our region. Swami has given us this golden opportunity to help and support people who come to the Nilayam for various functions and activities. Next slide, please. Women at the Sai Premanilayam, this is the altar for Shivaratri. Next slide, please. They set up the altar every week. They make garlands, prepare food, and serve everyone who comes there. And currently, we are preparing for hosting the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization's International Conference that's coming up in April. Next slide, please. These are some of the feedbacks we got for reading the Tapovanam. I'm very happy to share that we are taking part in the national initiative of reading Tapovanam. And these are some of the thoughts and testimonials. I'd like to share two testimonials from our Sai Sisters. Next.
Jai Sai Ram. I offer my humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet. I had read Tapovanam 15 years ago for the very first time. I had asked Swami to fulfill a wish leading Tapovanam. My wish was for Swami to show his presence in our home. Few days into reading Tapovanam, I experienced Swami's presence in his chair in our home. And reading Tapovanam reminds me that Swami is there with us at all times and listens to our prayers. I thank Swami for his love and grace. Thanking Sister Surekha for creating this group. Sai Ram, thank you.
Sai Ram, my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dearest beloved Baba. I am so grateful to our dearest Swami for giving me this most precious opportunity of reading Tapovanam along with other spiritual seekers on this path. I realized that with these chapters week by week, my mind was in a completely meditative state without any distractions, and I can very vividly imagine Swami performing his many leelas and miracles in various temples and various devotees' homes. And it was so beautiful to read about Swami's childhood and imagining little Bala Sai and all the miracles he has done as a child as well. He has transformed so many lives and so many hearts. I am so grateful to be born as a contemporary of our Divine Lord, and I pray to Swami that he gives us many, many opportunities to think of him and to always remember him. Sai Ram.
I thank Swami and our national coordinator, Lakshmi Vyakaran, for giving me this opportunity to share the activities we are doing in Region 8. Now I pass it on to our sister in Region 9. Thank you, Saira.
Sai Ram, everyone. I'm PJ. I'm in the Phoenix area, and I'm with the Center for Sri Satya Sai, the group Sri Satya Sai Greater Phoenix Group. And we are the Inside Soul Sisters here in Region 9. Next slide, please. Our group is new. We were inspired by two initiatives, Peer Enrichment Group and the Sisters Sacred Study of Sai Tapovanam. And out of those events that we went and we are participating in, we were inspired to form our women's group. And click, please. And so we formed the Inside Soul Sisters, and we had our first meeting on Saturday, March 4th this year. Click, please. We had our discussion together about the work that we've been doing, and we talked about the Tapovanam reading, or shared what we were reading, and out of that, out of our discussion, you can see the many words that came up in that discussion. We felt together as a group. We felt that we were ourselves, and the comments that came out during that discussion was, one of our sisters said, "We are women with emotions in this group. I would like to honor ourselves as women and practice self-care. We can do that together." And another sister said, "This is a place where we are safe, loved, and cared for." And another sister said, "We are all having fun in the group and we are empowered. Being in this group is supporting each other to be whole again." Next slide, please. Out of our discussion, we felt that the readings have helped us to grow closer to Swami. And one of our sisters said, sorry, "He is holding our hand. He is always there. And Swami is everything. Why worry?" And then we felt that the readings provided transformation. Next slide, please. And you can see out of our conversation, the different words that have come out, and Swami was definitely the main touching source for all of us. But one of our sisters said, Reading the book is like a leap in Swami's presence. Another sister said, I am transformed by reading his story. Reading his book is a chance to get to know Baba. It gives me peace, strength, power, love, and assurance. And finally, another sister said, Swami is purifying our heart and mind. This is an invitation to continue our spiritual practice and deepen understanding of who we are. Next slide, please. And so from looking and reading the Tapovanam and being part of the group, we have experienced Swami all over again and continue to experience Swami and the love for each other. Next slide, please. And our story, from reading his story, it has certainly become her story. And we are women. Women are the beacons of light. And here's all of our light shining. And now I turn it over to Region 10.
Thank you, Sister PJ. My name is Shayla Singh, and I'm blessed to be the regional coordinator for Region 10. And I currently attend the Austin Sai Center. Next slide. Our center, or our region, includes Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. At our region, we have a variety of women's groups. We have some that are Sai Sisters, some that are peer empowerment groups, some are just informal women's groups, and we have various combinations of all of the above. Next slide. At our center, or at our region, sorry, we're very active among all of those different groups. That you can see the activities that we do include blanket seva, sandwich seva, homeless shelter food seva, and there's even a battered women's shelter food seva that's going on. We are also participating in reading Tapovanam, and we currently have 4 groups participating. There are study circles. Some are women's wing only study circles, and sometimes it's open to everyone, but it is run and conducted by the women. We also have peer empowerment groups, as mentioned, and currently we have 9 facilitators. There are 5 in Austin, 3 in Dallas, and 1 in Houston. And we also have enrichment sessions that are designed for empowering the women in our region. We have picnics and fun morning walks and chai. That was started during the pandemic. And we, of course, have ladies' day bhajans, altar setup, and currently we're even doing tutoring for Afghani women who, of course, can't be tutored by the men. So women are completely spearheading and leading them. Now, of course, we do have a really exciting upcoming event that I wanted to mention to everybody. We have a monthly inspirational online channel, and there's a different theme for each quarter. But this upcoming quarter, this is going to be run completely by the women's wing in our region. And the theme is going to be qualities of a Sai woman. And it's going to be all women speakers panel. I'll be hosting them, and it'll be April through June, and we'll be highlighting the women's wing. When we're ready for it to go live, we will definitely be happy to share the link. But we'll be talking about how women use all of our lovely Swami's teachings in the home in April. In May, it will be in the Science Center and learning to balance our daily lives with work and home and our center responsibilities. And then in June, we'll be talking to some very inspiring ladies about how we interact with the community at large, doctors and teachers, how they interact during seva and during even just their everyday, day-to-day duties. So we're really looking forward to that. And of course, I can go on and on talking about our region, but everybody knows a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we have a brief video to show you some of our activities. This is our blanket seva going on. And these were some of the women-only Zoom study circles during the pandemic. And an empowerment session, learning about our inner Shakti. Guru Purnima speakers. And this is the Austin Sai Center, Sai Sisters. Again, Austin. And the Houston Sai Center. And more pictures with various different Seva activities. Some of our many food seva projects going on. Bhajans and study circles. More food seva. Lots of blanket seva. And then some having fun too. The Dallas Sai Center. And some of our fun nature walks. And this was recently playing Holi.
Sai Ram, my name is Roshini Shrestha, and today I would like to briefly share with you my invaluable experience in study circle with the Sai Sisters. We meet online every Tuesday evenings from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. to study Sai teachings. Currently, we are reading and discussing on unity and divinity. Our next topic will be Sandeha Nivarini. This informal study group provides a very comfortable and supportive environment to read, discuss, and share our experiences on how we can apply Swami's teachings in our daily lives. Personally, these satsangs have helped me a lot in my daily interactions and activities at home, at work, and in the society. In addition, it has empowered me and helped me with my self-confidence. No matter how the day has been, once I'm at the Sai Sisters satsang, I feel very refreshed and attuned to Swami's divine messages. Thank you for your time. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Swami, for the opportunity to serve and learn, to grow and love, to share and bond, offered with love from Region 10. So this concludes the regional coordinator's presentation. So I just want to take this opportunity to say some closing remarks. First of all, I want to thank Swami for bringing all of us together today for this beautiful, love-filled women's retreat. And on behalf of the whole Women's Wing, I want to express my gratitude to the speakers for today, Kuppam Vijayamma for connecting from all the way on the other side of the globe, and Sister Linda Ragsdale from Tennessee for such an inspiring and love-filled talk. I also want to thank our peer enrichment facilitators and our regional women's coordinators for all the wonderful work that they're doing. And of course, to the regional presidents for supporting their work and for supporting this retreat. A special thanks to the tech team for all of their support, and to Sister Lakshmi Vyakaran for all of her guidance and for putting together such a beautiful retreat. And last but not least, a special shout out to all of you lovely ladies for attending this retreat. At this point, we will have now the closing prayers. Thank you, Sarah.
May the love we're sharing spread its wings, fly across the earth, and bring new joy to every being that is alive. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. May all the world be happy. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. May all the world be happy. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for such a wonderful, 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 wonderful session. Swami says the Atma resides in our heart. Thank you.